Start us up.
Okay. Hey now! It's your boy, PSA Sitch, here with a brand new Tuesday show. That's right, fellas. It's the Tuesday show. How you doing, Adam?
Good. I'm great. Great. Someone just sent me an article about UBI and MMT, and I think
Who could this someone have been?
well, someone else
Some
sent it to me.
mysterious mass stranger swooped into Adam's room and left him a UBI MMT article showing how they perfectly fit together, and Adam was swept away in a fury of passion and love.
Where did you get it? Because I got it from Vincent Tundo first, and then you sent it to me.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't the first person to send
So
it.
maybe Vincent sent it to me. And Scott, the guy who wrote the article, is actually already following me on Twitter, which I was surprised about. Yeah,
interesting.
so I followed him right back, and his article is really good. Yeah,
Someone on my Twitter timeline retweeted the article. I don't remember who it was.
Me.
It might have been Scott Adams. It might have been your favorite Scott Adams.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have Scott Adams blocked now. That fucking geezer.
And I saw, oh, wedding, MMT, and UBI. This sounds exactly like Adam's jam. There's even an auditory version of the article. Oh my God.
It's an hour and 40 minutes. I can't believe that. My computer reads so much faster than that. So I had my computer.
Yeah, but doesn't your computer read with like a annoying robot voice or something?
It's not too annoying.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is a little robot-y, but.
Okay, well, yeah. Anyways, today we'll be reading all the super chats we didn't get to from Sunday, the contentious Sunday show.
Yeah, and maybe responding to some comments as well, because
that's right.
I've been reading a lot of comments, and people are massively hung up on. They seem to believe that Sitch and Adam, the bleeding heart liberals, have come out in favor of might makes right, and that we feel like we should subjugate other nations like Afghanistan.
Well, hold on. Most people don't think that.
Okay.
Most people think that we're right. A small minority misunderstood our argument.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Okay, let's just be clear.
A lot of people did super enjoy the morality debate more than it would have appeared in the chat.
Yes.
Because the chat seemed to be not that into it, but the comments seemed to be really fascinated by it and saying it's like one of our better streams and completely interesting. Go ahead.
I think people liked it. It just the conversation went on for an hour too long. If it had ended at the 2-hour mark and we just clarified our position and then stopped circling into the argument, I think everything would have been better.
Okay.
That's my feeling. It just went on too long. But.
Do you want to Sitch also pointed out that we clarified the might makes right contention again and again in the live stream, and people, may be missing it or whatever. I just thought it'd be good to clarify it once again. And before the stream started, I mentioned an Akira the Dawn song where he plays a bit of Jordan Peterson, how Jordan Peterson is saying Jordan Peterson never liked the line in the Bible, "The meek shall inherit the earth," because meek didn't strike Jordan Peterson as a moral virtue. And I'm not sure meekness is a moral virtue either.
No.
So Jordan Peterson went searching for another translation of that line, and thanks to Akira the Dawn, because I've listened to the song thousands of times, I know the translation that Jordan Peterson found is it's not the meek shall inherit the earth, it's those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed shall inherit the earth. And a little bit of what we were talking about before the stream began was restraint. I think we can all agree is a moral virtue. So if you don't have any sort of power, with the power not to be subjugated by others comes the power to subjugate others. But showing restraint in that subjugation and only using your power in self-defense, I would say, is a moral virtue. And I think a lot of people were conflating us saying that the more powerful society is the more more
virtuous
society. The more virtuous. But part of that virtue is is only using that power in self-defense, only using that power, not using that power to subjugate others, as the Mongols did. The example that Sargon continued to bring up, trying to say that this is like the zenith of morality. We kept saying, no, subjugating people is not the zenith of morality. Our morality, where we have the power to subjugate people but don't, is the zenith of morality. So, do you want to? Yeah. Are you pretty much in agreement with that?
I think we should have made a clear distinction between how we were using the term morality and how Sargon is using the term virtue, because most people think of something that is moral and something that's virtuous as synonyms for each other.
Right.
And virtuous obviously has a connotation, a prescriptive connotation of goodness within it. And I mean, that was, and I said this last stream, I said it was the argument was getting confused because there's a lot of conflation between talking about moral systems being successful in an evolutionary sense on a purely descriptive level, and whether moral systems are good by our moral standards on a prescriptive level. And those are two very different criteria.
Very different, yes.
Right. And now you and me, we hope in our heart of hearts that going forward in the future and continuing now, that systems that we agree with morally will also be the most successful.
Right.
I think they will. I predict that they will.
And I agree. But we both have that, we need more evidence in an empirical sense to be sure of that.
We'll never know, because it's always what, no one knows what the future will bring necessarily. But.
Right. But if Sitch and I are correct, systems that we judge by our criteria as immoral would not be able to succeed against systems that were moral. So in this scenario, the Nazis, the example everyone wants to go back to and say this is like this is devastating to your argument, because if the Nazis had won the war, then you would be saying that their moral system, which is obviously repugnant to everyone, would be more successful than a.
Well, I mean, it would have been descriptively. I mean, you can't deny that.
Correct, yeah, but that's the problem. But in our thinking, the way Sitch and I are looking at it is, it would actually be impossible. Like in every scenario, the Nazis would have lost the war because they had an inferior morality. We believe that is possibly an aspect of the universe in some kind of objective way, like whatever we think of as the most moral, it will be the most successful. And for me, I mean, as I'm not a religious person myself, but I could see the religious people, if this seemed to be the case and we could compile more and more evidence of it, it seems like the religious people would immediately go, that's God. Right there. That's God. If the more moral system is always more evolutionarily successful, they would say, obviously God created the universe. Of course he would create it this way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as I said to you before the stream, I said, the way I think about it is sort of like people, this came up in the conversation. It's like, oh, the Mongolians were very successful, which is true. They were for a time period. But the moral systems always have to change in response to the environment. And part of that is the technology that exists. And I said to Adam, if human beings had nuclear weapons back in the Mongolian days, would the Earth have survived? And we both said no.
Yeah,
the Mongolians and whoever else had the nukes would have nuked each other, and the world would have become a nuclear winter post-apocalyptic hellscape.
Right.
And so, to me, that's part of my thinking when I think of why I think moral systems that we agree with going forward will continue to be the most successful, because as things become more complicated, as people have to become more intertwined with each other on a global scale, I do think that the only way for human beings to exist going forward in the future with our increasing weapons, increasing technology, is through tolerance. And I think that's the only way forward.
Yeah.
We see that right now. No one's really, we're concerned about China, but we're more concerned about China like either usurping US's dominance or doing a bunch of sneaky underhanded stuff. No one's really worried about like an open war between first world or first world powers anymore.
Yeah. You have to create an environment for competence hierarchies to thrive, and dominance
Right.
hierarchies destroy competence hierarchies because, and I mean, I haven't read anything on the Mongols yet, but I did tweet out asking, a lot of people are trying to say that the Mongolians had a meritocracy, but I'm looking at it saying, okay, well, if the only meritocracy is in subjugating people, like whoever's better at subjugating people rises up through the ranks, you don't have a true meritocracy
Right.
because
Well,
those people are subjugating the farmers who are working not in a competence hierarchy, but they're working as slaves.
right. And to be clear, when you say a competence hierarchy, when you say meritocracy, what you mean is like a meritocracy has to be a system where people can succeed on the merits in all sorts of various
Right.
skills of value.
Basketball, laser technology, robotics,
Right.
aeronautics.
Right. No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying because technically someone could say, well, a dominance hierarchy is based on how well you are at subjugating people or climbing that various violent dominance hierarchy, which is
Right.
true, but the difference is that the meritocracy allows many different avenues of success where the dominance hierarchy does not.
Offers one aspect of success, and the only person that can climb that hierarchy is someone like Genghis Khan, and
Right.
all of your human resources completely go to waste. Right?
True. Yeah, no, exactly.
Why would you want to even climb a competence hierarchy if you know that Genghis Khan is at the top of the dominance hierarchy next door that's just ready to take everything that you've created?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Well, anyways, also, should we spoil who we may be talking to next week?
How many people are listening right now?
300 people are
Only
listening
our
right now.
special friends will tell you.
Only our special
Don't,
friends.
but it's only between us, okay?
Shh.
Don't
Be
tell.
secret.
Don't
Okay,
tell
it's a
anyone.
secret. Okay. I think next Tuesday or some point we'll be talking to Big Joel. That's
Big
right.
Joel.
Big Joel. Big Joel. I think we're going to be talking not about the shoe video, but about, if you guys remember, and it's so funny, I had literally forgot we streamed about this until Big Joel was asking us about it. Big Joel had a response video that we covered to the Blair White, Carlin, and Borshenko debates versus Lauren Crazy Lady and the other guy, John Doyle. And you remember it was the one where the lady was like telling Blair to grow out her mustache and to detransition and blah, blah, blah. She's like being super like homophobic, transphobic, just awful, all around awful. And it was the debate about, what is the future of conservatism? Is it to be accepting of LGBT people, or is it to go back to religious social conservatism? Yada, 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 yada. And Big Joel had basically made a video about it where he said Blair did a shit job at defending herself. And the implication I took from that was that she was like anti-trans. I believe he does say to some very explicit degree that Blair is anti-trans. So we are probably be having a conversation about that next Tuesday. Yeah.
I think I was under the impression that he inadvertently made the social conservative argument that Blair White could be adding to the social contagion aspect with her conservative viewers.
He does make that argument, but there's one piece of nuance that he wiggles in there.
Yes.
Which is that he doesn't say that Blair is convincing people to be trans. He's saying Blair is allowing people who are trans to express themselves. Right? So that would be the key difference.
He's not accepting the social contagion argument. But no. I don't understand. The key point that we want to ask is, okay, we have a lot of detransitioners now. A lot of people are coming out and saying this was a mistake. How do you explain those people? What is your explanation for those people?
I don't think that's not the key question in terms of what he was talking about in his video. I mean, you can ask him that, but
well, I think it is a key question in the debate though, because if people are saying, oh, the social contagion isn't real, that's a conservative right-wing talking point, that's a Ben Shapiro talking point, then right? You have to tell us what's going on with these detransitioners then. Right?
Sure, but I don't. Well, here's the issue with that. First of all, that's a secondary question because that's not really talked about in his video at all. but there's that. I don't know what, but here's the part of that. The problem with that is that I don't know what the numbers are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the percentage of people that are detransitioning? And because that's what he's going to say. He's going to say, oh, well, it's such a small amount of people.
It doesn't matter. Well, first of all, it does matter if you're talking about the policy, if you want to add up like how many trans people there are versus how many detransitioners there are.
Right.
My purpose in asking the question, though, is I guess they could default to misdiagnosis, right?
I mean, yeah. No, but that doesn't help them, because your argument is all these people are or potentially could be misdiagnosed as having gender dysphoria, and thus will seek transitioning, and at some point later in their life they'll
come to regret it.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a mirror conversation that we had with Hunter, where you get stuck in that loop.
I know.
Where you're like, oh, well, I'm afraid that there's going to be a lot of people with trans regret now. And he says, no, but those numbers are very low. And then you say, well, those numbers are low because they're referring to people from 20 years ago when thoughts about being trans were very negative. So you'd expect only people who really had strong feelings of gender dysphoria would actually transition, where now there's actually some incentive, social and emotional incentive to transition or to try to transition. So you're going to get way more false positives. And then they either accept that or they don't accept that, and then you repeat the cycle of the conversation.
And they never accept it.
Right.
Then you might as well just say, and then they don't accept that, and then you have the conversation all over again.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes in a circle. Because I rewatched Joel's video that he wanted to talk about yesterday, and to me, the thing that really sticks out in the video, well, first of all, like, his claims against Blair are very unfounded. They're crazy, because he's basically saying Claire is anti-trans and she's ashamed of being trans, and she's like doesn't want to promote transness, and it's like she's just trying to hide her trans identity in order to appeal to conservatives. That's kind of the argument Joel's putting forward, which to me is insane. Like, you're telling me Blair White's trying to hide her trans identity?
She's so openly trans.
Right. Like,
she's doing a piss poor job of it.
I know, exactly. I'm like, you have a trans woman out here who's like putting her tits out on display, like being as like openly visible as possible, not hiding behind, an anime avatar or whatever. Who just because, and it's just like, it's so silly to me. That's like, oh, just because she's not explicitly saying that being trans is okay, even though implicitly everything she's doing says that, because she's a trans woman. Like, it's such a bizarre argument to me.
Yeah.
And then also the second part of it is that Joel has a whole section in that video where he kind of goes on about Blair keeps trying to convince Lauren, this bigot, to accept her, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Joel, you realize Blair isn't trying to convince Lauren of anything. She's trying to convince the audience.
Yeah, that the Republican Party should move on, because there's other more important battles to fight than the trans fight. I don't think a lot of it's so bizarre, because this fight is over false positives. It's not over a hatred of trans people. The left is completely mischaracterizing.
Let's be a little clear. Let's be clear. For us, it's over false positives. For many people, it's over false positives. There are lots of people out there who generally align with the right politically that think that being trans is just evil or degenerate on its own.
The collapse of society is coming.
Right.
That's another thing that people completely objected to our metric of society surviving as some sort of moral metric. Yet every time a moral conversation comes up, they say, if we allow trans people in society, society will collapse. Collapse. It's coming. Obviously, they're using societal collapse as a metric, are they not? It seems like they are. It seems like they get that morality is about sustaining society at some level.
Right.
Even though it's not totally conscious.
Yeah, no. Sure. I like the picture you put up.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
That's Blast, right? Send
that's
my
Blast.
regards to Sitch and Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki.
Yeah.
Who's Tatsumaki? Is that one?
No, that's the I don't know if you've seen her. That's like the one of the psychic chicks from One Punch Man who wears like the black robe
Oh yeah, and the green
and the green
hair.
hair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's the
hot.
one. She's the one without the big tits.
She's hot. Well, she's the one with the
The
giant
big ass.
thighs. Oh my
Yes, the big
god!
thighs and the
Wow.
big ass. Yes.
Here, but let's bring her up.
There you go. Bring her up. Wolf Spain for $4.99 says you could ask him why teen girls have increasingly been transitioning at a rate much higher than teen boys when historically it has been the opposite. That's true. That is a good point.
Teen girls are far more susceptible to social contagion. Is the argument that I can't remember her name, but
I just think that before we get into that conversation, we should make sure we stick to the video, the contents of the video first.
Did you see the retweet
Do you
I did?
agree
of
with
Joel?
this? Or no?
What?
I said before we get into all the trans stuff, we should stick to the contents of the video and how we thought he was being not fair to Blair. In the video.
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I get too easily triggered. And
I don't want you to keep your mouth shut.
I think he's gonna try to trigger me. I'm not sure. I get so triggered so easily.
We'll see. I don't know. He said he wanted to be chill, and I'm like, all right, I'm fine
I know.
chill.
We want to be chill.
Yeah, we want to be chill.
We told him to bring a friend because we understand, like the 2-on-1 thing. I guess is bad optics, but it's
I don't know.
only
I don't
bad
think...
optics if we don't shut our mouths.
It's only the only problem with 2-on-1 is sometimes you get these situations where if two people are debating one person, what they'll do is whenever there's like a weakness or a lull in like their debate partner's conversation, they'll jump in and like save them or divert the topic away to something else.
Yeah, that's the
only time that's like a problem, because then it's like, oh, you're like using debate tactics.
Yeah.
But we try not to do that. I don't think we do that.
Joel is interested in defending. He's upset about the title of the video because he's never watched the video or any of knows any of the arguments in the video.
Because we said that Joel trans shamed Blair, and
he's trying to.
He didn't like that. So
yeah, he's like, "How am I trans shaming? You're getting me in trouble.
Right?
Change that video title."
JMac for $100. Thank you so much, JMac.
Yeah.
Even though. Sad news today. Very sad news today, guys.
I know. Oh my
R.I.P. Norm Macdonald. You will be missed. That's right. Norm Macdonald apparently been battling with cancer for years. Has unfortunately passed away
61.
today. Yes.
Fucking funny guy.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. Very sad.
Daniel Chihote for $5 says virtue and morality exist at the whims of surviving and thriving. I think 70% of people are 3 missed meals away from throwing away all morality.
True.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that.
True. This is what is so. I mean, this is what was so difficult about that conversation, because there's just this weird disconnect when people start thinking about morality. They start thinking about it completely individualistically and consulting their own moral intuitions. And if any statement is made that doesn't line up with their moral intuitions, all of a sudden, whatever you're saying is completely wrong or bullshit, or they get so easily triggered talking about morality that it's hard to have an objective conversation about it.
Right.
What are all these F's? Oh, they're for Norm.
For Norm.
Yeah, sorry, Norm.
JMac for another $50. Thank you so much, JMac. Says, Sitch and Adam on Tuesday. What sorcery is this? Well, this is the sorcery of you guys being way too generous, JMac.
Hell yeah.
Obviously included, but yes.
Yes.
So thank you all for your amazing, amazing sorcery. Lord Tennyson's Pipe for $5 says, Adam, it seems like you are portraying Sargon's argument as a simplistic theistic one. Are you familiar with either deontological or virtue ethics?
I am familiar with them, but I don't know the enforcement mechanism, which is important. The whole idea behind the chain Leviathan is the Leviathan is the enforcement mechanism. Like a morality with no enforcement mechanism is not a morality. That's like a game of football with no refs is not a game of football.
I mean, I'm not familiar with. I've heard these terms being used in debates. I don't remember what they meant because I don't really follow a lot of philosophy stuff to that level. I don't think the thing that was weird about Sargon's argument was that we both understood that he was atheist, and we both said it sound like the way you're speaking sounds as if you're appealing to God, but we know that you're not.
Right.
And we said that exactly that. And that's what was kind of confusing, because he kept making moral claims as if there was some absolute morality, but then saying that he didn't believe there was one, but he was using language as if he believed in some sort of absolute universal morality. So I don't know if that was just him being clumsy with his language or what was exactly going on there.
We wanted to drill on the enforcement mechanism, and we kept saying, you know, God traditionally was the enforcement mechanism, and you could point at one time, Sargon could point to God or the Bible and say, you know, God said it, and that's why we should do it. But my question for Sargon was always, what are you going to point to? What are you going to say? And it seemed to me that he was saying, you know, I'm just consulting my intuitions and that's good enough. Other people can do the same thing, consult their intuitions, and that's good enough. But I in that scenario, yes, you will have a bunch of people who have the same intuitions that will say, okay, that's good enough. I have the same intuition as you. The problem with morality is people have different intuitions, and you have to orient everybody on the same page. Otherwise, you're playing different games. I mean, the games at least need to be compatible. The problem is not having multiple moral systems operating together. The problem is having two moral systems operating together where they both have the rule, snuff out any other moral system that comes close to you, right? Because then you've got two moral systems competing in a battle to the death, not peacefully cohabitating.
Right. Yeah. No. Right. I mean, and the original conversation was Sargon saying, well, you know, what's the point of trying to understand why people have the moral intuitions that they do? Which I think not only is that important in order to understand society, but I think it's interesting. So I mean, if someone doesn't think it's interesting, then, you know, okay, you don't have to talk about it, I guess. But
I think if you want to design, which I think everybody does, I know people are misconstruing us as being for might makes right. No, I'm for incentives. I'm not for coercion. If you want to devise a moral system that with the least amount of coercion, I think you have to study this. You have to understand this.
Of course.
You have to motivate people through incentives, not through coercion.
Well, right. And that's a big problem with a lot of the way politics is structured now, is that very often both political parties are trying to pass legislation that completely does not operate under human motivation.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson says something famously in the Kathy Newman interview. He says you have to do it. You can't make responsibility sexy in a finger wagging kind of way. Now, I'm not sure how you can do it. Like, it seems like there are a lot of people doing it in the TradCon community in a finger wagging sort of way that is just not going to work. Not going to work for a lot of people.
Well, it's the reason for that is because most people, especially people that are in the bubble, are making arguments that are only persuasive to their moral intuitions.
Totally.
So for all the people that are finger wagging, that's because finger wagging obviously
works
for them, but it doesn't work. But that's the problem. It doesn't work for anyone else. But anyway, we gotta move on because we don't want this to be a 10-hour live stream.
We're already 30 minutes in. All right, now we're speed reading again.
Yeah. Deuce Rex for $5 says successful can't be a bar for morality. It can't be a bar for prescriptive morality. That we all agree on. Yes. But it is a bar for descriptive morality.
I do think this is the problem that I have, because even from an inside the morality perspective, people understand that the point of morality is to make society successful. Otherwise, you wouldn't say, if we adopt, moral prescription X, society is going to collapse.
Oh, well, hold on. I guess there's a difference between when someone says something's the bar, that to me that means the primary or sole reason for something.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously success has to be a criteria of a moral system, because otherwise it's like communism. It's like, okay,
great point.
You could have the most moral system on paper, but when you implement it, it's disastrous, then it's stupid. Like,
yeah, it's impossible for success.
Right.
Success is a criteria, but not the criteria.
Sure. Dan Chihote for $5 says, guys, my wife is going to be pissed. Church is supposed to be on Thursday and Sundays. Now it may be on Tuesdays too. She might not be able to cope. LOL. There you go.
You're
Thank you,
telling
Daniel.
your wife that you're going to church when you're listening to our show.
The Church of the Free Will. Can I get an amen?
I hope you
Can I
don't.
get an amen?
I hope you don't get caught with that one. Oh my god.
What do you mean, Adam?
This isn't exactly what.
Do you want free will? Do you want to feel the burning power of consciousness of being in control of your elephant? Then give to Sitch Adam, because that's the only way. That's right. If you pay us money, that's the only way the gods of the simulation will
Save
down
your
upon
souls with money to us.
This is not a scam. No. This is true. This completely intangible.
Save your souls. Save your eternal souls.
Entity known as free will be bestowed upon you through the good graces of magic of the internet. Okay. Jimmy Mulligan for $10 says, since this is a comedy show, respect to one of the pioneers, Rip Norm MacDonald. Yes.
Oh, I know. Oh, so sad. He's so good too.
William Iceman for $10 says, what's your opinion on Mark Milley going behind Trump's back in October and admitting to contacting a foreign enemy and saying, I'll give you a heads up if we attack? Look it up.
Something's going on with your mic. It's down a little bit or something.
That's too quiet?
Yeah. Might be cutting. It's like cutting in and out a little bit.
Cutting in and out?
Yeah.
I mean,
just bang it on the table a bit.
Well, I mean, I'm just moving it right now.
Okay.
Okay. Did you hear the super chat? Am I reading the super chat again?
Yeah, read the super chat again.
What's your opinion on Mark Milley going behind Trump's back in October and admitting to contacting a foreign enemy and saying, I'll give you a heads up if we attack? Look it up. Going to go deadlift 500 pounds. To my understanding, he didn't admit it. This is a claim in a book, right? Now, if this claim proves to be true, or he does admit it, maybe he has, I just missed it recently. If that's true, then I would agree that he has to be fired. Because the claim is, for those of you that don't know, General Mark Milley, who we watched a little bit of, he was the one that was like...
Journal. The woke general.
The woke general who's like, I want to understand white rage, blah, 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 and all that shit. Basically, there was a book coming out that's claiming that in Trump's final month of office, I guess during January, he contacted secretly someone in the Chinese government, or the person that would be like his same rank in the Chinese government. And he was like, oh, if I'm worried that our president's going to try to start a fake war with China in order to stay in office. So if he says any crazy shit or tries to launch nukes at you or something, don't worry. Like, we're not going to let him or something.
Wow. That is kind of crazy.
And I mean, that definitely, regardless of what you think of the president, you can't have people contacting foreign governments, especially foreign governments we're not friendly with.
Milley's got to go. Yeah.
Doing this underhanded shit. So yeah, he definitely, if that turns out to be true, he definitely needs to be thrown out.
I might even share a couple guillotine memes. I don't know. I'm thinking, treason. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty. Well,
I thought treason is death.
If Trump or any president had tried to manufacture a war to stay in office, okay, I wouldn't have a problem with the people. Like, if he does it, I wouldn't have a problem with people in those positions of power refusing to comply with those orders if they feel like they're unlawful.
First of all, the Constitution takes care of this. The executive branch can't start a war. Congress needs approval.
Well, we've been having many military wars and excursions without that for the last 10 to 15 years.
Because of the war on terror.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Yes, but they can't, like a full-scale war. Congress could definitely prevent that. Yes.
Sure. Well, they can't prevent. Well, who knows? It depends on what's going on, right? Because it depends if Trump picks up the phone and says you have to go nuke somebody. It depends on who answers that phone.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Are they going to say, oh, well, I need congressional authority or not? But anyway, my point was that if Trump or any president had attempted to manufacture war in their final days of office, and the people who are under him feel like this is like immoral and wrong, I wouldn't have a problem with them not complying with those orders. But that's different from preemptively going to someone who's like your enemy almost and like telling them that you're not going to
That's
behave in some way.
treason.
That's the problem.
That's
yeah.
straight up treason.
All right. So he totally needs to be kicked out if that turns out to be true.
Milli Vanilli gotta go.
Yeah. Utter Nonsense for $2 says our quote conservatives are streaming on a Tuesday. That's right.
We said we would, but I guess
did say
a lot
we
of people
would.
didn't stick around.
Yes.
We didn't make it through Superchats, so that's
We
why
didn't
we're
make it
doing
through Superchats. No.
I should bring up
Sean's-
our campaign too for Sammy G. We're still
that's
hanging
right.
in
Bring up
there
the
at
campaign.
50 backers.
Sean Sullivan for $20 says S-Class steals candy from babies. Only if it's the good candy.
Why would you do that? Oh, it's a good candy. Oh,
Well, babies don't need all that unhealthy sugar. I'm protecting them.
That makes sense.
Whereas A-Team gives babies a voice in our democracy and gives them candy as a bribe. That is why A-Team is living the dream. Also Tuesday hype. Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
That's awesome. That just made my day right there.
The crappy robot for £5 says, I'd like to make a complaint. Last week's free will was lumpy and had a hair in it. Must have been A-Team's bootleg free will. Sitch, give me the good shit. Okay, look. I'm sorry. We do have a strong customer quality assurance program with our free will. So we will make sure that free of charge, crappy robot, you will get your 5 free units of free will replaced with a 100% grade A organic non-harmfully sourced free will, sourced directly from outside the simulation.
Free range, free will.
Grown in the most free range capacity free will can ever be grown. Now, look, I won't sugarcoat it to you, okay? All free will is technically harvested. Well, I shouldn't tell you. Let me just
watch out. We take the will.
Yes.
We take the will away from people like socialists.
Let's just say that free will is like energy. It cannot be created nor destroyed, only transformed. Okay. So let's just say the free will is coming from something or someone. All right.
Oh, yeah, you guys don't want to know how this free will is made.
No. Even free will isn't free. Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
Whalers for $10 says ostracization is the enforcement mechanism for morality. If you commit a sin, you are denied the kingdom of heaven. If you piss off your friends, they don't invite you to things. True. That is true. Political jargon for $10 says is a discount given on free will for patronizing on an off day. Sadly, no.
What?
No. But you still get your 10 free units of organically sourced free range free will. That's right.
And on the Thursday stream, I cut the free will precipitously and give it out at 10x, so you can always come.
Just be careful of what Adam's cutting it with, okay?
The cut free will works, Sitch. Just
Now, see, when you take the cut free will, it gives you the sensation that you're like engaging in free will, but you're actually not. It's just a delusion. It's just a lie, okay?
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Bad. You gotta be careful. Maj Dejin for $5 says, could Sargon's enforcement mechanism is the loss of the good times, the society you possess that gives you these liberties? Wait, Maj, come on, let's give me some better grammar here.
Well, I understand what he's saying.
I don't understand what he's saying.
He's saying that the fear of this is the conservative argument right here. Conservatives are worried that things are going to get worse than they are right now. They will sacrifice potential opportunity to maintain the good that we have already achieved. That is,
I see.
That is the heart of conservatism. And he's saying that the enforcement mechanism is basically the law of unintended consequences. Like,
sure.
If we try this, things might get worse. Maybe we should just keep things the way they are and enforce. Yes, that will work with conservatives, but like I said, the trick of morality is to get as many people to buy in as possible, preferably through non-coercive means. And I just feel like scientific reasons work with people. They do. God works with some people, which is fine. God is easy to use, inexpensive, already pervasive throughout the culture. The atheists are, they think they're destroying God. Okay. Good job, guys. You keep at it. So God is a useful enforcement mechanism. Science is another useful enforcement mechanism. So
Okay.
because I said so is not really. I mean,
No,
you
it's
will
not a good
get
one.
you will
Yeah.
get the people who already want to do it.
But-
Like if I already want to do heroin and you say because I said so, I'm like, oh, that's good enough for me.
yeah, exactly.
Let me
I think
do
that's true. That's true. Bull Moose for $5 says, I had an argument that I don't think it's fair to call US healthcare evil because of the method of payment. Super frustrated like Adam. I got triggered. The best of us, Bull Moose, get triggered sometimes. That's when you got to activate your free will.
Did Shoe call U.S. healthcare evil?
I don't know. I'm sure she has in the past. But
The way that the way the hospitals are getting around the new law, which is just completely infuriating. You
mean the
list
law
your
that they're
prices.
supposed to tell you how much everything costs?
Yeah, you know what they're telling
How?
you? They're listing
No.
their prices as anywhere between $1,000 and $10,000.
I told you they were going to get around it.
That's their pricing mechanism.
I told you it wasn't going to make a difference, but okay.
That's so fucked up.
I know it is. Drusus Von Saga for $50. Thanks so much, Drusus. Says, I wish to save my soul. Well, there you go. For 50 free will units will be deposited in your free will account.
Bless you.
Bless your soul. It is saved. Saved from your elephant. Sam Bardens for $4.99 says, definitely one of my favorite episodes to date. It had everything good stuff. Guys, be nice to Sargon Adam.
Yeah, people got mad because I did go a bit snippy on Sargon, but I felt, and I did talk to Sargon privately yesterday, and obviously there's no hard feelings between Sargon and I.
Everyone's friends, yes.
Yeah, I did tell Sargon, I was like, I consciously put this together in the moment, but the reason I was kept getting triggered is I felt like what you were doing was unfair. I didn't feel like it was dishonest. I just felt like forcing me to. Like he kept forcing us to debate the might makes right position. And I'm like, that's not my position. Why am I forced to defend it?
Right. Danimal the Bruce for $20. Thanks so much, Danimal. Says, why are you keeping my wonderful art from the people?
Do you want to bring that up?
If you want.
I don't know.
Bring up that terrible art.
We didn't bring it up on stream because it's a little risque.
We just didn't have time to get to it. But if you want to bring it up.
No, I saw it. I was like, Danimal, fuck you. What the fuck are you doing, Danimal?
I mean, it's fine. If you want to bring it up for a couple minutes, that's fine.
We reserve the right to. This is not a free speech.
We do reserve the right to not show things, but that one is fine.
We curate the show, guys. Yes. Okay.
I'm even fine with showing. There's an Mpreg Sitch one that's kind of funny actually.
Have you?
You can show that one too if you want.
Did you watch Academic Agent's complete boomer video that everyone's giving him a hard time about?
You mean the Max Utabi for 10 stars says debate Academic Agent on tomboy abs?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. I hear everyone's talking about it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad. It's so cringy.
I bet. Your pal Ashley for $20 says, fun, open-ended question for you both. You're given the keys to the United States, but only long enough for you to pass one constitutional amendment. What amendment?
Oh my God.
Pass.
UBI. Woo!
There you go.
Let the chips fall where they may.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that for a while.
I know. I'm being a little bit sarcastic with the UBI. There's an article that we were sharing around that has a pretty good argument for UBI. So I may be back on the UBI train, much to your consternation. I know, but we'll see. We'll see. I definitely wouldn't. I would want to do some more research before I passed a constitutional amendment on UBI. But it would be some big thing. Like if you're doing a constitutional amendment, you got to go big, right? It's got to be something big.
It's got to be something big.
Yeah.
I know what I'd do. Anyone that refers to soda as pop will be banished from the United States of America forever.
That's not big.
Get out. What do you mean that's not big? I'm banishing people from the U.S.
New York would be a ghost town. Everyone in New York calls it pop.
Well, you're going to have to learn one way.
Well.
Okay. They're going to have to learn.
Evil. You're evil incarnate.
Daniel Chahote says term limits for everyone. That's a good one.
Oh, term limits is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is good.
The crappy robot for another £2 says, have you seen Inuyashiki? The missus had to quit at the bath scene. I have not seen that. It looks very strange when I Googled it, but I haven't seen it. William Kirk for $5 says, It is now my time to plug the Catholic Church. The problems you were having around bestiality go away under Orthodox Catholic theism. There you go, guys. If you're really concerned about giving into bestiality, turn to the church.
Yeah, I think the moral intuitions are good enough for a workable situation with bestiality, but
Right.
I don't think it's high priority on a lot of people's lists.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would, if you had a problem with bestiality with any individual, if you just offered them a real doll, I think it might solve the bestiality issue.
Probably not, because I'm assuming people that are into bestiality, they're not into sex. They're into specifically sex with animals.
Yeah, you might be right.
You'd have to make them a real doll that's like an animal or something.
Oh my God, that's so evil. That's so evil.
I wonder if that actually stopped the behavior, whether it's reinforcement. Someone have to do a study on that. A gross study, but okay. Abominable Scotsman in the chat says something great. This is my new political position. I'm an anti-populist.
You are kind of an anti-populist.
Yeah, pop, like soda pop. Yeah, okay.
And the other
seems a little confused. Max Utabi for 25 Sardoses says, "What do you think of the anime to porn to trans pipeline?" I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah,
that's
what
I think about it. I don't.
AA mentions that in his video, and
oh my God, are you serious?
He does. Yeah,
I don't. So crazy.
Listen, my wife watches a lot of Korean television. I
think you're gonna say anime porn.
No, but Korean, like Asian culture is where a lot of the anime comes from. But I don't know how you can look at harem anime and think this is. I mean, it seems ultimately conservative, pro-patriarchy to me, right? I mean, how is anime part of the problem here? It seems like anime is more traditionalist.
The argument, I haven't heard the video, but the argument is generally some act is degenerate, and as you engage in this degeneracy, it opens you up to further degeneracy or something, which I don't necessarily buy that argument, but that's generally buy it either, what it is. Yeah.
But anime also has a lot of just good old-fashioned heterosexual.
That's true. Most of it is.
Yeah. That's why I don't get it. This is like reinforcing traditional gender roles, not
I don't know
the opposite. Yeah.
But anyway, let's get to last week's super chat.
Yeah, let's
last
do
Sunday. Her Excellency for $5 says people are conflating viewing evolutionary success as an indicator of successful qualities existing as wait, let me read that again. People are conflating viewing evolutionary success as an indicator of successful qualities existing as evolutionary success equals moral. True.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
and
what
also the
people
naturalistic fallacy.
Right.
We're
people
not
were
making
conflating
the naturalistic fallacy.
And I will admit that me and Adam did not do a good job originally at separating that out for everyone.
True.
Edward Pereno for $5 says Mahler gives a rising declarative cry for bestiality, so stunning and brave. There you go. Brian Bishop for $20. Thank you so much, Brian. Says another Jew sacrificed for Adam's sins. Yeah, Adam, geez.
What? Who? You?
Me. Remember, I sacrificed myself for the sins of the bestiality argument.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yes. Geez, Adam, I'm just burning through these Jews.
Did you see? Oh God, someone's clipping that. Fucking.
Astolfo's in the chat.
Oh shit!
Simon O'Leary.
How come he has a wrench? What's going on here?
Adam's just burning through those Jews.
Oh, I'm not. No comment. No, wait. I do comment. Fuck you. That's not true. Fake news. Where's this Catboy meme? I need to get even.
So you're saying you didn't burn through any Jews, Adam?
I've done nothing wrong. Adam did nothing wrong ever.
He's gonna clip it so it says, I'm gonna say Adam's burning through those Jews, and then Adam's gonna say, yes, I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong ever.
No.
There's
Look at
the
this.
edit.
This is a photograph of Sitch on his long weekend holiday with all his Catboy friends.
I like that. Now I was like, I gotta bring this up. I gotta divert attention.
Clip this out. I want this on the screen when it's clipped.
There you go. So Danimal made this picture, and there's me with the Catboy harem saying animals can't consent. Catboys, however, oh woo woo.
Oh,
There you
woo
go.
woo.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Wonderful. Anyways, Simon O'Leary for $5 New Zealand dollars says the sheep taste better once they are marinated. Disgusting.
Mhm.
Disgusting. Varied for $10 says, can you define sanctity? Adam.
Sanctity? In terms of moral foundations theory or
Yes.
spirituality or
moral foundations theory?
In terms of the sanctity foundation, in terms of moral intuitions, is just disgust. It's a disgust emotion that we feel. And it evolved in humans to keep us away from pathogens and parasites. Yeah. Disgust is we get a disgust sensation when we smell rotting meat. I'm sure a vulture probably thinks, yum, yum, dinner. Completely different. So.
Right. Cool. Very Dead Horse for $5 says, in Islam, it is perfectly moral to lie to non-Muslims, sell slaves, have sex with animals when women aren't present, and treat women like belongings. Just saying. Is it true that Islam? I would be shocked if Islam is okay with bestiality. I would be very surprised by that.
Yeah, that seems like fake news to me.
I feel like that's not true, but I'll look it up. Oversized Trash Panda for $20 says, the point of modernist philosophy is to appeal to some standard external to both sides of a conflict in order to attain resolution without violence. Sargon's anti-enlightenment approach has no way to accomplish this. True.
We should have read that with Sargon here. Yeah.
We did say that, but not as nice and clearly as you stated right there. Yeah. Thank you. It's a great super chat.
I love the anti-enlightenment, like little shiv there. Anti-enlightenment.
Yes. I don't know if you saw this. It's funny. Destiny was responding to the the Vosh's unironically evil video.
Really? Fascinating.
And
I didn't see it.
He wasn't, I don't know if he watched it or if he was responding to Vosh's, like, he had like his little 5-minute video or 10-minute video responding to it that you watched with Doomer.
Yeah.
And in it, Destiny realized, I have this clip and I was going to put on Twitter, Destiny realized that Jordan Peterson was right and that Vosh is a postmodern neo-Marxist.
Really?
Yes. It's hilarious.
Really?
He's like, wait a minute, Jordan Peterson was right all along.
Wow.
It's hilarious.
So I think Doomer wants to argue with us about. Doomer disagrees that. Doomer's in the chat right now. What's up, Doomer?
Hey, Doomer.
Doomer wants to argue with us that Peterson is wrong about postmodern neo-Marxism. I believe.
Interesting.
Yes. And Doomer knows his philosophy. Doomer has a moral designation that I think is probably closer to me, and I can't remember what it's called. It's like a moral fictionalist or something like that. Which is probably closer than a moral realist. But yes, we're gonna have Doomer on sooner or later. And
sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have time today, but I would like to have a conversation about that.
Let's not do it today because we got to be in and out in another hour. So,
which is going to be a Herculean task.
And Doomer coming on that's going to be like a
3-hour
pause.
I know. Pragmatic Culture. Wow, Pragmatic Culture. I've seen him in a long time for $20. Thank you so much. Says, hello, Adam Sitch. Long time, no chat. Glad to hear Sargon sounding more like a reactionary.
I know, you've won.
When it comes to morality, aka the right take. Only way to morality is objective realism and theology. I don't know what theology is. Read Aristotle and Thomas Aquinas. There you go, Sargon. You have a big endorsement from a Pragmatic Culture. I don't know if that's a good thing. But
Sargon's going to be a monarchist and
right,
eventually.
Right. Theology is the explanation of phenomena in terms of the purpose they serve rather than of the cause by which they arise. There you go. JMac for $5 says, things are so much simpler when it was, quote, because God said so. That is true.
It was a lot simpler. Yeah.
Things were simpler. That's your Zima Blue right there. Kara Small for $5 says, got a hold of an SS paratroopers unpublished war memoirs today. Going to translate them. Huh. Interesting. Pragmatic Culture for $10 says, if morality isn't from an objective source outside of human consideration, it eventually can be reduced to subjective and ultimately trivial meaninglessness. Can't escape this trap. I mean, that's potentially true, but that doesn't mean that objective morality is true. Just because, like, it's weird because I hear this argument like a lot.
Call
in
it
these
universal
religious
morality.
senses.
That's really what we're talking about.
Right. Well, he's talking about universal objective
Right.
morality. That point is true, is that unless there's something outside of humans that dictates morality, morality is ultimately subjective to some extent. And that's true. But just because you're afraid of that alternative doesn't mean that universal objective morality is a fact. You might want it to be a fact to prevent that, but that doesn't mean that it is a fact. So this is a bizarre argument to me.
The people are super, and I understand why people are super cognitive of the enforcement mechanism, because it's essential. Like, this is the lifeboat of society. Morality is what makes society function. And if the enforcement mechanism of morality breaks down, you're fucked. You're totally fucked. Everybody's, it's man against man. It's anarchy. And God is a damn good enforcement mechanism, but I'm not sure it works with everyone.
Right. J-Mac for $5 says, I don't like watching fat people have sex. I find it gross, but it's not immoral for fat people to have sex. I don't know. Isn't it, Jay? Isn't it? The Butter Anvil for $5 says, can someone link the video where Destiny explains why incest is bad? I've never heard this argument against it, only him debating the other argument. I don't remember where he said it, because I know he debated it like 4 or 5 times, but I remember hearing it at some point, somewhere in one of their things. If someone knows, they can link in the chat, but I don't have it offhand. Crafty Huragok for $5 says, start the video and get off this conversation, please, and thank you. Yes, that conversation did go on too long.
2 days later now, you're reading that super chat.
I know. William Kerr for $5 says, gentlemen, all is well. The hat I ordered has arrived, and it's nice. That's great, William.
Good.
That's great.
Yeah. Morality is working.
What kind of hat was it, William? I hope it's a cool hat. Is it a beanie? Is it a complicated beanie? C. Hennessy for $2 says, I thought moral arguments come from natural law. Some of them do, but they don't have to, right?
Natural law is another enforcement mechanism people try to use.
Hippo-sized cat, the most dangerous predator in the animal kingdom, for $20 says, one reason, not the only reason, that bestiality and pedophilia are morally wrong is because they have no reproductive utility. I think this is partly why groups that condemn these activities I think that's partly why groups that condemn these activities outcompete groups that don't. That definitely plays into it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's definitely a reason. William Kerr for another $5 says, centrist gang, rise up. That's right. Rise up, our centrist brothers. Papa Piker for $2 says, look up this song, the incest song by B737 Lover 99. Is this like a porn song? It's like a joke song.
Sounds dangerous.
It's on YouTube. So I assume that means it's
I'll look it
a joke. It also looked terrible. I looked at it for 2 seconds and I had to turn it off. Super cringy. Crack Rock Steady for $20. Oh no, I read the one Sunday. Stug for $2 says, Shoe has arrived. That's right. Las Noches for this is confusing me. My brain wants to say Loch Ness Monster so bad, but the name is Las Noches for $5. Says, nobody adopted the moral code of the Mongols. The whole of the West adopted the moral code of the Byzantine Empire. Both empires fell. Code, not empire.
Yeah, people have said that in the comments, that you need to make the distinction between the actual game surviving versus the people playing the game surviving, because the people could die out, but the game could live on because other people adopt it.
That's a great point.
It is a great point, yeah.
Because also it's like the Byzantine Empire fell, but the people living there, they didn't get Thanos snapped out of existence, right? It's just the ruling power changed. And then the question is, well, did the moral code in the society that existed continue on, and how strong that is?
This is the cage of norms. I would guess that it did carry on.
Doesn't seem like the Mongolian code of ethics and moral system really exists anymore. Regretful Brosellini for $2 says, Vosh's stream was cringe, but not as much as Joel. There you go. Astolfo SMG for $20. Thank you so much. Astolfo says, Shoe, how can you be friends with Vosh when he is so fine with being immoral? He is literally okay with lying. The only thing he cares about is pushing his ideology. His plan for revolution ends with killing us sock dems. Interesting.
Maybe she wants to live.
Maybe she. There you go. Now I don't want to be. So she was very right in that she's complaining that the leftists that she interacts with, they're so like trying to control her and her friend group. And I think that that's very wrong. As I said last stream, I mean, the only time I would tell someone not to be friends with someone is if they're like abusive towards them. That's about it. Now, I personally wouldn't be friends with someone who's like a fucking super racist bigot or something like that, but I'm not going to dictate I'm not going to dictate and moralize someone else's friend group. So,
yes.
No, that's my position on that.
So that would be the loyalty. No, it would be the Liberty Oppression Foundation. Shoe is experiencing psychological reactance every time somebody tells her you can't be friends with Lauren Southern. She's like, what?
Right. Yeah, no.
Don't tell me what to do, motherfucker. Fuck off.
And I hope she didn't get too bad a fallout for being on the stream yesterday or Sunday.
She told me that it was way less than expected. So
okay, that's good. That's good. Because I know Joel like blasted it out there. That kind of pissed me off.
Yeah, but then we ended up DMing with Joel, and he seemed. I mean, he seemed cool with us.
That's how everyone seems, Adam.
Right. You think? Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Classic Adam. Listen. That should be my tagline. Listen.
Yeah. LISSEN. Yeah. Listen.
Listen. We have to get Joel to commit to not talking shit about us after the stream. We have to do it. It worked with the Serfs, okay?
No, why? Him talking shit about us would be great for us. I don't know what you're talking about.
You think so?
That's more content for us.
So you want him to go out and tell everyone that
sure. Let him.
I mean, it's better than Lance. Lance calls everyone race realists. I don't want people going around calling us race realists.
Oh, no, it's great. Lance's pettiness and his like dispute with Sean like definitely works to Sean's benefit. Okay, so
maybe I'm playing this all wrong.
You're playing this completely wrong. Okay. You have to think of this like a wrestling match. Okay, you need a face and you need a heel, Adam.
I changed my mind. When Big Joel comes on, we have to get him to promise to talk shit about us after the the discussion.
Exactly. No, look, and I don't care if my problem with his tweet was, and I'll tell him this when we talk to him. I don't care if he's criticizing us because we're criticizing him. That's fine. And I don't care if he's like drawing attention to us. I don't like that his original tweet was kind of framed in this like I'm trying to shame Shoe for talking to us. That's my only problem.
Yeah, that's true. Tweet. That's a big distinction there.
And that's bad because I do feel like from what she was telling us, I feel like she's being like emotionally and psychologically assaulted and gaslit by the left.
I agree. I agree. They're trying to they're basically saying, hey, we want to manage your platform for you. And they're doing it nefariously. They're doing it trying to manipulate her.
Well, not just that, but then like she's saying like all these people are calling her like fuck it. Like people are supposed to be her friends are calling her stupid. Like
what?
Like, I've never seriously called a friend of mine stupid. Like I'll say like you're just fucking stupid, like as a joke. But they're like, oh, you're like actually stupid. I've never said that to a friend.
I don't think she was remotely stupid.
I don't either, but she thinks she's stupid because all these people are telling her she's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just I just feel bad. It's like a bizarre situation. Maybe it is abusive. Shoe, get out of there. Nail T Diffie for £5 says, I'm British too. Will you spend 2 hours teaching me how to tie my shoes? Yes, we will.
Just get some clogs or some sandals.
Just get Velcro. That's why we have Velcro, right? Dog Piler for life for 5 Canadian says, Shoe, can you explain that Lauren Chen tweet when you dismissed her based on her race? Oh, I'm curious about that one. I'm not familiar with that tweet. Reverend Delicious for €5 says, Sargon barges into the call. Strawman's the argument. It's just icky, then leaves. There you go.
It wasn't that bad. Come on.
No, but I mean, that's not far off. June Bug. June Bug for $5 says, get quote some guy or short fat otaku on.
We've had
We'll have
Short
to have
Fat
one.
Taco on, and
know, but-
we've never had some guy on.
No, but the
Is it
call was
just some guy?
was crowded enough as it is. We don't want to have.
Yeah, we don't like to go above 4 people tops. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 is pushing it. 6 is just crazy.
We had a tough time talking over each other as it is. Yeah.
Right. Just the 2 of us.
Yeah. So.
William Kerr for $5 says, even Milton Friedman argued for UBI since almost all labor would be automated in the future. You don't have to be on the left to be in favor of it. True.
UBI?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Jav Tondes for $2 says, this is some next level symptom. Shame on you. There you go.
Yeah, some people in the comments too were saying that we were simping for Shoe.
Mm.
So I guess if you have a constructive and fun conversation with a woman, now that's simping too.
Right.
It's like,
well,
you guys, what the fuck?
People, I understand what this is what they want. Okay. They want us to talk to Shoe and then for us to drag out everything that we disagree with her that she's ever said and attack her for it and like make her defend herself.
No,
that's what
fuck,
they no,
fuck
we're
you.
not going to do that. That's
Yeah.
what they want. And the thing is, if we do that, we're literally the same as the woke leftists that do that to Shoe.
We're as bad as fucking Vosh if we do that. You want us
Right.
to Vosh her? No, we're not going to do that.
Exactly. Do you want us to Vosh? I mean, Vosh put out this hour-long video, which, I mean, Shoe said that she was all right with, but I thought it was ridiculous, where he's basically like throwing her under the bus to his audience.
What?
You know?
Yeah. That's what got us to the Joel video, because in the
Right.
video he said Joel did an epic takedown of Shoe, and I watched the video and was like, "This is an epic takedown."
Right.
What have you been smoking? The
Right.
thing is also, simping is something I am against. Simping is sending your money to a girl who is never gonna fucking talk to you, never gonna date you, never gonna have anything to do with you, and you are carrying on the idea that you're gonna have some romantic interaction with her.
There you
That's
go.
not remotely what's like. Shoe literally came on the show.
Adam, what
talked to
don't
all
you
of us.
understand? Simping is when you're nice to any girl ever for any reason.
No.
Period. That's
Don't
simping.
do this. That you're doing the same thing that you did with socialism, okay? You're
That's what it
ruining
is.
simping.
That's what it is.
We can't
okay?
have a categorically we can't be categorically against simping and then change the definition of simping to getting married. Okay.
You can't. You can get married without being nice to a woman. Okay.
Marriage good, simping bad. Okay? You can't eliminate steps from going from meeting a girl to getting married.
Okay.
If you're calling those steps simping. That's not
There you go.
simping.
There you go. The Twitch thought you send money to is never going to get married to you. Just keep
Yes,
that in mind.
that's simping. You should be
Right.
spending that money,
On us.
taking out girls or buying free will. Those are
There's
the
no
only-
illusion that we're going to get married to you. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe Adam, but oversized trash panda.
No.
Oversized trash panda for $5 says democracy. 51% of the population dictates your life. Libertarianism, you dictate your life, regardless of what the 51% think. They're not the same.
Okay. Sure.
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 Sure. One is not prime for $20 says, was listening to this crap while floating in the pool, playing bullet chess, and a bee stung me in the damn neck. Do you support this form of non-consensual bestiality? No.
No, we
No,
don't.
that
Yeah.
bee should be eliminated from society for its bestiality, sexual assault on you.
I
via
think
bee
they
sting.
eliminate themselves when they sting you. So there's some,
Oh, that's true.
there's
That's
some
true.
justice in that.
There is justice. There you go. Lord of the Nerds for $2 says Shoe is the Nick Fuentes of guillotine jokes. She did kind of make that argument. I am gonna have a conversation with her. I want to have a conversation with her about that Hunter debate on stream, because
Yeah.
I thought her positions in that debate were just awful. I do want to talk about that.
I'll let you do that. I'm just gonna simp Shoe, so
There you go.
I don't have to be the bad guy.
You don't want to be the bad guy.
I'm just not a cop. I'm not the cop personality here.
Usually, you are the bad cop.
I'm conflicted on the whole thing because I'm pro joke. I'm conflicted.
Well, the part of the thing that I want to talk to her about wasn't just whether it's good to make jokes about killing people. It's just the core idea that she's talking about. That is the joke is completely wrong and dumb.
Yeah,
And
it's not
that's
going to work.
like, well, no, not even that it's not going to work, but just if we could snap our fingers and we could make all billionaires disappear, okay, and every company was a co-op. If Amazon became a co-op, if all these giant companies all became co-ops, that would have zero fucking effect on global warming or the environment. Right. Okay, the idea that like, oh, if a company's run by a co-op, it's suddenly going to become more environmentally friendly is insane.
Yeah,
okay?
It's funny. You're objecting to the actual argument.
Because it's an insane argument.
It's a terrible argument.
Like think of this. If you have someone who's willing to drill gas out of the earth, okay, or frack or whatever, and they're making, however much money they're making in a private company. So they're making, not a lot of money doing this kind of hard, gross work. That's also very environmentally destructive. Okay. If suddenly that person the next day wakes up in a world where they're getting 3 to 4 times the amount of money they used to make for doing the same job,
that thing
you've
is
just
not gonna
increased
go
their
away.
fucking financial incentive to keep polluting.
I know.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, this is an insane fucking argument.
That conversation with Shoe is going to last 5 seconds though, because Shoe's completely going to agree with you, and there's nothing to talk about.
That's fine. Then she'll say, "Okay, you're right."
It's funny that Hunter didn't get to that. Hunter was just like, "Is it okay advocating violence?"
He was too much on the joke.
Hunter did good though. I don't want to throw Hunter under the bus because he was against advocating for violence, which is some goodness in the world.
He was focused more on the joke aspect of whether it's right to tell jokes like that, as opposed to the validity of the concept the joke is trying to convey.
Right. There's enough funny things in the world that I think we can avoid advocating violence
for murder. Yeah, right. Cotro for $5 says, my favorite part of the Adam and Sitch show, wow, fuck you, Cotro, is the foreshadowing of an hour-long Sargon landmine when it will be 3 hours. A-Team makes the world dream. That's true. Awesome. That is kind of funny. You see Sargon in the chat and you're like, the foreshadowing.
I know. I even mentioned at the beginning of that stream something about Sargon and morality, and there were a couple people in the comments that noticed, look at this foreshadowing in a stream that's not even scripted.
Yes, you could sense it.
Yeah.
Drunk Shovel for $2 says, see Kyle. That's right.
Oh no.
Drunk Shovel for another $2 says, Kyle status seen. There you go. I like that one better. Kyle status seen, because it's a little bit more like you would not understand that at all unless you get the joke.
Right. It couldn't be clipped out of context.
Yeah. XLS for $2 said, someone's gonna say like, oh, Sitch and Adam are secret Nazis, and they're dog whistling with the C Kyle joke.
The bigger the show gets, the more that is a possibility. I don't know how to avoid that, and I feel, there are people that
fortunately I can throw out my idol of immunity and say fuck you.
Yeah, you can, but I can't.
Yeah, but I'll protect you.
Will you? Will you protect me? Friend, will you protect me?
The joke was about someone taking you out of context originally, out of you saying something completely innocuous.
Once they see these comic pages, I don't know if you're going to be able to protect me anymore.
There you go. XSL for $2 says, Shoe F first, marry later, or K sock dem sock communism.
I don't know what that means.
They're asking Shoe F fuck marry kill sock dem socks or communism. That would have been funny. We should have asked it that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Obviously you kill communism, you marry social democrat, and I guess you just fuck democratic socialism. I think that's the only answer to that question. Democratic
socialism has to be good and bad. The crazy bitches are.
That's AOC right there.
There we go.
It's funny because everyone was pointing to that picture. There's that picture of AOC. She went to the Met Gala, which is like a $30,000 ticketed event. She's wearing some designer dress that was specifically made for her that probably cost a fuck ton of money, that says tax the rich on the back.
It was so gaudy.
Super gaudy. It's very much like Hassan standing in his mansion, with the eat the rich shirt.
Well, no, it felt like a Target logo. I was like, why? Oh my! So
well, no,
bad.
someone brought up, and it looked the way the text of Tax the Rich looked the same font as the like Chick-fil-A bag or something.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But no, it's funny because everyone was commenting on her, but in the picture, she's standing next to like I don't know some lady who's like 30 times hotter than AOC. And I'm like,
Really?
who's this person? I don't care about AOC's stupid dress. Who's this hottie next to her? Damn.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have to do some research on
Go
that.
do some research. XSL for $2 says, Shoe, don't let a nice thing cover their crap. Abby Muhammad for 210 sexy sexes says, Shoe lady, explain to me how democracy is antithetical to authoritarianism. If a lot of people choose to violate your rights to private property, does that mean that those people didn't violate your rights to private property?
Violate their rights to private. I wasn't half paying attention. What was the gist of it
how
again?
Democracy is antithetical to authoritarianism. If a lot of people choose to violate your right to private property, does that mean those people didn't violate your rights to private property? Well, what are you gonna say?
Well, our democracy though protects property rights. I guess maybe it doesn't protect it at a constitutional level. I'm not quite sure. It's an interesting question.
Well, no, it's kind. This is a kind of, I don't know what the term would be. This is kind of a fallacious question here, because basically under the framework you're saying is that anything that's not a Tom jump, everyone is completely free to do whatever they want. Society or world
is immoral.
That is like there's only like an extreme. There's either the Tom jump, everything is amazing, versus authoritarianism. That's obviously not the world that we live in.
Right.
Obviously, we have middle grounds here, and we've decided that one of the ways that we can live is that people vote on things and dictate things through democracy and voting and blah 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 blah.
The people that make this argument, I often point to the Dictator's Handbook. In the last chapter, he goes through a lot of different nations and makes an argument that an empirical argument with evidence that the more authoritarian a government is, the higher the level of taxation. In super authoritarian governments, the taxation revolves around 90%.
Sure.
In democracies where the populace obviously doesn't want to be taxed very much, like wants lower taxes and will vote people out of office for raising taxes, you have a lot lower taxation. So I mean, if you're thinking taxes down to zero, I mean, I'm for zero taxes. I just don't know if it's a possibility. This UBI argument says taxes should be lower, by the way. It's pro UBI argument.
There you go. Calvar for $20 says, Shoe is right. The only ideology that would have any chance at working for world domination in reality is social democrats. Think about it, or bring me on and we can argue, LOL. Matt Magnum for $50. Thank you so much, Matt. Says, Matt, who forced me to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, I will soon be off to a tabletop session on Laser Addicts, but can I get some free will on the way out of the door? P.S. You two are always welcome at the tables there. If you're ever wanting to join, we mainly do it on Saturdays. Well,
how was the Yu-Gi-Oh game? You played, Matt?
Yeah, like forever ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. We talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it. Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was awful. It was terrible. It was the worst thing ever. But there you go, Matt. You get 50 free units of free will.
Nice.
Use it to not play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore.
Ever again.
Stacking damage for $20 says, Joel is enforcing repressive tolerance. The discussion can only move left, never right. Any push right, even in jest, is unacceptable.
There
you go.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I agree. The Butter Handful for $2 says, Vosh is a bad person. Don't worry about his politics. True. Can I have a sip of Adam's Coke Samimi for $2 says, Adam dunking on women like a Chad.
Yeah.
There you go. King Dance Killer, a.k.a. Dingus McBingus for $20 says, all three of you make me smile. A-Team, S-Class, the Shoe Crew, the Ultimate Ass Squad.
Ooh, interesting.
There you go. The Ass Squad.
How come all these acronyms Adam ends up in the beginning? ASMR, ass, like what's going on here? I'm bottom of the social hierarchy,
because
guys.
there's a lot of I guess it's just a lot of acronyms that start with A. That's good.
I watched a video today,
Mhm.
and the video maker did call it the Adam and Sitch show again.
Well, I know it's not. I forget who sent it to us. Astolfo or someone sent it to us. So the Counterpoints made a video that was Adam and Sitch.
He did it. Counterpoints did it too. This was.
Oh yeah. I saw the video. Well, I didn't see it. I saw
Node,
that
Node in the network. Is that the YouTuber? I think. I think it's because it dawned on me when he said it. I think it's because of the Lilo and Stitch thing, because Lilo is first in their minds. So they're putting Sitch and Adam next to Lilo and Stitch, and it becomes Adam and Sitch.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You could be right.
Maybe.
Baron of Belinga for $5 says, to figure out what team I am, what's your opinion on the classic comedic masterpiece, Big Chungus? By default, I am currently a horrible shoe crew simp.
Big Chungus?
Well, I know what Big Chungus is, and
I'm
a fan of Big Chungus. Or I was. Big Chungus has kind of been overplayed, obviously.
Big Chungus is fat.
The fat Bugs Bunny.
Bunny, yeah. I'm just from the picture. I'm very much pro Big Chungus.
Yeah.
Looks hilarious.
We're both pro Big Chungus. Lemon Drop for $5 says, I'll simp for you, Adam, since Sitch won't. Your graphic design is looking a lot better this week. Kick shoe, Vosh is evil. There you go.
No, we're gonna. This is you don't understand, guys. It's a social intuitionist model. Social is the first word. we have to manipulate Shoe so Shoe can manipulate Vosh. This is our only.
There you go, Adam. You're not supposed to dictate our evil, malevolent plans.
Mask off, guys. Okay. Sorry.
Mask off. It all came out. Yes.
Who's not trying to manipulate everyone anyway? I mean, it seems pretty obvious.
I'm too fucking lazy.
Manipulate. I'm sorry. Influence. That's what we're supposed to say.
I'm too lazy to even try to influence anybody. I don't give a fuck.
I said it incorrectly.
Yes.
I would. How awesome would it be though if Vosh actually advocated for something we were interested in? I mean, he's a great advocate for just moronic things.
There you go. Abdi Muhammad for another 55 sexy sexes says S class is sim class and A team is the dream. There you go. Awful. Terrible.
So demoralized. God, I love it. I'm starting to enjoy it. Can you say it a little more down, a little more depressed next time?
A team is the dream team.
Exactly. There we go. Let's keep him demoralized, A team.
King Dance Killer says, Adam, thoughts on Huey Long? Yeah, the person I was thinking of for the Black Panthers was not Huey Long. Huey Long was a senator, Adam.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Huey Long.
The person that's the Black Panther guy was Huey Newton.
Oh, okay. Huey Long, United States Senator from Louisiana.
Yeah. Huey Newton is actually why the character Huey is named Huey in the Boondocks.
Governor of Louisiana, 1924.
Adam, what are your thoughts on Huey Long? In the Hassan video, you and Sitch joke that populism leads to communism, but Long's tank was a little populism before things go too far south defeats communism. Sure.
I agree.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm always asking about whether or not this rise in the interest of socialism is from material conditions or just a fashion statement.
Both those things.
Well, I'm worried about the material conditions part.
Right. Cotro for $2 says, get Chris Raygun and some black guy to come on. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm down.
King Dance Killer, a.k.a. Dingus My Bingus for $5 says, I just noticed. Where is Gemini Semini? Adam, what did you do? Gemini has rebranded himself. Gemini is now, can I have a sip of Adam's Coke Samimi? So you don't have to worry, King Dance Killer. He is still there. He's still there. King Dance Killer, aka Dingus My Bingus, for $5 says, I'm going to attempt as a straight male to be as thirsty for Adam as Gemini was. I'll start next stream. You have been warned.
What?
There you go.
Come on. Find a girl. Be thirsty for her.
No, but he's just doing this to troll you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
He's doing this to troll you.
I was going to say,
which I support fully.
How thirsty can you? So Dingus McBingus is, oh no, that's the Butter Anvil. The Butter Anvil's beating you right now, Dingus McBingus. He's branded himself as social justice detective Jack Stryker.
There you go.
on Twitter. So
nothing is thirstier than Detective
yeah,
Jack Stryker.
exactly. Although he did spell Stryker wrong, but you know, A for effort.
Where was I? Alex Stewart for $20. Thanks so much, Alec. Says, I imagine many others would be interested in Shoe's opinion on the Vosh's unironically evil video. Yeah, we should have asked about that. Doomer Politics made, but I understand if two spicy conversations back to back would be tiresome. I assume she has not seen it and probably won't watch it. But
Yeah.
we'll ask her next time.
It's kind of putting the thumb screws to her. She's nice enough to come on our stream. Yeah.
I don't want to Vosh her. I don't want to Big Joel her. I don't want to be the person that's like, Shoe, come talk to us so we can yell about who you're friends with. That's so like fucking lame.
It is. Okay. It is. Yeah. It's super boomer too. It's way
but it's so finger wag. It's so pathetic.
Why are you friends with these people, young lady?
Excuse me, young lady. I'm your father. You should get a job at SNL and stop being friends with these.
Stop being friends with these communists. But Dad, all the people who work at SNL are communists. What?
We gotta find you a nice Christian comedy show. Is Mad TV still around?
Oh, sad. Wasn't
Dad,
Norm Macdonald on Mad TV?
About Mad TV. Zara Riches for $5 says, this comedian doesn't know my debate bro language. How dare she? Joel, probably. Yeah.
Oh.
Lord Tennyson's Pipe for $5 says, if you could merge physically and mentally with John Malkovich, would you do it? Fuck no.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's way older than me.
No.
I'm kicking in there.
I saw that movie. He's weird. Zyre Plies for $20 says, when you enter their insanity, you are making it valid. Let these guys scream into the void. No one listens to them anyway. I agree. I think the leftist shit is just growing, unfortunately.
They're screaming. I don't think there's that. Big Joel gets 500,000 views on his videos. What are you talking about? He's screaming. We're screaming into the void. Look at our views.
It's true. He had 500,000 views on that Shoe video. Dr. Zasis for $5 says, Big Joel is wigging out. He's a bald-faced liar. I'm literally pulling my hair out watching the show Shoe0nhead. He
did agree to talk to both Sitch and I together, though, which got to give him credit for that.
Give him credit for that. Though he described it as morbid curiosity, but whatever.
Did he? I missed that. I missed that part.
Grassroots Dictator for $20 says, quote, fun 9/11 fact. Oh, that's great. In March of 2001, the pilot for a show called The Lone Gunman aired with a government plot to crash planes to the World Trade Tower to blame it on terrorists and to start a for-profit war. Really? That's bizarre.
Wow.
Oh, that's the simulation gods winking at you.
Did they memory hole that video? It seems like maybe. I got to run to the bathroom real quick.
You go run to the bathroom. The Sharpcast for $5 says, I noticed he made fun of moral consequentialism, so it feels like he agrees with you without understanding that he agrees with you. You're talking about Sargon. I mean, that's what that conversation was so confusing because that's why because his original position was simply that, you shouldn't explore why people have the moral intuitions that they have, because whatever logic you come up with can be ultimately used against you, which maybe that's true, but that doesn't mean that you should not explore something for that reason. I think that's a bad rationale, honestly. Culvar for $10 says, I made that clip. You're welcome, Shoe. Which clip are you talking about? Are you in the chat? I don't see you in the chat. I'm not sure which clip you're talking about. Code 5601 for 10 Canadian says, I'm scared that if I honestly talk about the trans issues and ask questions to try and understand, especially with lefty communities, I'll be unemployed in 5 years. It's a horrible discourse and sucks. True. It's funny, even Vosh was saying that the leftist trans community is like insane and awful.
Cancer.
So,
yeah.
So
At the same time, they're arguing that trans isn't a mental illness when the whole community is just insane. It's like
not a good look.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Optically, you guys need to work on your shit.
Right. Yeah, not a good look. Ryan Curse for $20. Thanks so much, Ryan. Says A-Team says the Mongols reign morally supreme. S-Class explains why the Mongols had the most class. Let's go, guys. Woo. There you go. Lord of the Nerds for $5 says, where does Shoe place racism on the hierarchy of evil with murder at one extreme and jaywalking on the other? That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Levy Miller for $5 says, A-Team is supreme. They had all those exclamation marks.
Sweet.
So I had to do it that way.
Expiration marks?
Exclamation marks. Did I say exploration?
No, I say expiration, but it's wrong. Okay. I don't know why.
Dog Piler for Life for 5 Canadian says, Shu uses Lauren Chen's race to dismiss her, but hates racism. Okay. Someone, what is this tweet you're referring to? Because I don't remember ever seeing this.
What? I thought she was friends with Lauren Chen. She was friends with everyone.
Maybe she's not friends with him or with her.
I like people like that are friends with everyone. It's a tricky balancing
That's
act.
Right. Contrast for 5. Aussie says, hang on, Adam. You go to marriage counseling because your wife likes the Matrix trailer, but you let go of the fact that she was watching Jack and Jill.
Did you see that? That tweet kind of blew up. I was surprised.
I didn't see that. What was the tweet?
The tweet was, my wife loved the Matrix trailer. Now we're in marriage counseling.
I see. Yeah, liking Jack and Jill is...
I watched Jack and Jill. I don't know if she actually liked it. I think I tried to watch like a few seconds of it and it was no go. But I was sitting there the whole time as my wife is like, yes, oh God, cool, oh my God. I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As she's watching the Matrix trailer, she was super into it.
The Dark Conservatarian for $5 says, Sitch, I don't know if you've received this question yet on this stream via Super Chat, but what is your reason for voting for Biden in 2020? Well, when you say this stream, like not that Sunday, but I have answered this question literally dozens of times during the election cycle.
Mm-hmm. Where are we at in the strategy?
Well, it's interesting because it seems like there's so much woke shit happening still on the internet. It does seem like there's been a huge lack of woke shit from the mainstream media compared to when Trump was president.
Yeah. And
I'm curious if that's just because everyone's kind of concentrating on Afghanistan and COVID and other issues, or if a lot of the mainstream wokeness was literally just a bullshit ploy to get Donald Trump out of office.
I think the latter, a bullshit ploy to get Donald Trump out of office.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Like the bullshitters they are.
Right.
Isn't all politics kind of bullshit?
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't be surprised. If that's the case. Oversized Trash Pan for $5 says, the intuition behind consequentialism is that good moral systems should lead to good outcomes. The problem is that consequentialism fails to do so. Sure.
Consequentialism doesn't always fail, though. The problem with consequentialism is... What is the problem with consequentialism?
The problem with consequentialism is, we've talked about this like a bunch, and there was that Martin Luther King quote, which I should have saved somewhere, where he said that bad means can never lead to good ends. That good ends lead to good. Good means lead to good ends.
That's the problem with consequentialism.
Right. Well, no, the problem with consequentialism is because people don't understand how power works. People think they can do all this bad stuff to get into power to enact the wonderful utopian society, but that would only work if you were Dr. Manhattan and you were all powerful, and once you became in charge, you could literally do whatever you want. But that's not what happens. What happens is you have to make a bunch of deals with people. You have to ally yourself with all these forces, because no man is an island. You have to do. You have to shake all these hands and put money in all these pockets to get into power in the first place. So then once you get into power, you need to maintain all those connections that you built to get there. And if you built all those connections up through immoral actions, you have to continue immorally paying those people off to maintain your power.
Straight dictator's handbook.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the consequentialist stuff from a practical perspective. Daniel Chahote for $5 says, good idea. Advocate for the poor and underrepresented. Bad idea. Use your money to buy a $3 million house and tell your fans to screw off. True.
That's a terrible idea.
True. Indigo Turtle for $5 says Hassan buying a mansion is like the pastor of the Westboro Baptist Church marrying a dude. Yes.
Very much so. Yeah. Great analogy.
Mr. Snuffles for $5 says you need to re-examine things when your enemies treat you better than your friends. I agree. Baron Bellingen for $5 says I'm a conservative who supports healthcare, limited local government, and regulation. Shoes shout out of rightoids was appreciated. Ignore the naysayers. That's good.
Yeah.
Ski Fox for 140 Zardoses says if we think of an individual and their own self as two distinct people separated by time, then actions that hurt one's future self, including those that generate self-loathing or regret, would have a moral dimension.
True.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very Jordan Peterson.
Right. But the problem is, and I assume this has something to do with the bestiality argument, the problem is you don't necessarily can predict that the person would have a problem with their actions in the future.
Right.
Forward. What the fuck? There's like something crawling on my roof. I can hear it.
Someone. Is it a dinosaur?
I don't. It's super loud.
A pterodactyl got up there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I put a box for my cat on the desk, and it's pretty adorable how he constantly
cute
jumps on in there.
Sargon versus Electric Elephant for 2 Aussie says Sargon versus Destiny on morality, moderated by Adam. Now,
wow, we destroyed Sargon. I don't. What the fuck? What the fuck? And I already destroyed Destiny too, using the same arguments. The comments are like, "Wow, it's way more fun when Destiny debates morons." I hate it when someone who has an actual argument comes on.
Seed Fan 85 for 2 Aussie bucks says, "Can you tell Shoe0nhead her Funko Pop was funny?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'll tell her that. I didn't know she had a Funko Pop. Electric Elephant for 5 Aussie says, "I think morality. Excuse me. I think morality is the care harm. I think morality is care/harm ultimately, but often not directly. Bestiality is wrong because it's damaging to physical and psychological health of society." William.
That's why the second law of moral foundations, the second rule of moral psychology is there is more to morality than harm and fairness. So that's why.
William Icebane for $5 says Muesli must bring on Shoe for EFAP, but has been several moons since a feminoid has graced the brood, and we require another so we can avoid the sexisms. There you go. Well, I'm glad
Shoe's a good candidate.
Yeah, I'm glad they both agreed to set something up. Electric Elephant for 5 Aussie bucks says Sargon's morality conception fails because it has no mechanism for self-correction. It's axiomatic. One who uses it can justify anything they like. True.
Yeah, that is a problem too. Thanks for pointing it out.
Chris Jones for $10 says, "I'm way behind the stream, but totally agree with you guys versus Sargon. This is the second show where I thought his argument would be so much more palatable if he just pointed at the Bible." Well, it's how
I did feel bad. I did come across as a little too rude. I feel like I should work on that.
Maybe. It's okay. William Iceman for $5 says, S-Class has got the ass pass, and the A-Team gives me the dream cream. There you go.
Nice.
Patrick Mulligan for 2 Canadian says, "When will Shoe go on EFAP? Shoe Crew for life?" Well, you're in luck because it's going to happen sometime.
Yeah. Thanks to us. I want you guys to know. Thanks to us. We did that. A-Team did it.
Okay. S-Class and A-Team joined forces to make the Shoe EFAP crossover happen.
Definitely, yes.
William Icebane for $5 says, "I can forgive Sitch for voting for the Dementia in Chief, but for thinking the prequels are worse than the sequels, for shame." Sponsored by A-Team. I have since reformed my views. Okay. I have now firmly stated that the prequels are better than the sequels. I've changed my mind. All right.
But I do like Dementia in Chief, and we'll be using that for me.
There you go. Daniel Gonzalez for $5.55 says, "Play Wussy Yanami." What's Wussy Yanami?
Wussy Yanami?
It's a song.
Sounds like a wussy game.
I thought it was a game. That was a song. There you go. I'm not
Wussy your mommy.
Wussy your mommy. Andrew Clark for $20 says, "Shoe's bad movie take is that she wants," I read that one, "to murder Wally."
Oh yeah, it was a terrible movie take.
That is terrible. Her and Sargon over here are like destroying robots and technology. They want to be fucking Quakers and Amish. Overseer's Log for $20 says Shoe makes a joke poking at people for overthinking things and being culture warriors at like any time. Both right and left go insane. At least that is how I tend to see it. She isn't alone either. I've seen others get flack too. I agree.
Yeah.
Nugget Man for 5 Canadian says, I love your channel. Thank you, Nugget Man. Most of our generation of discourse is based around current events. We need to go back and acknowledge our past. That's true. The Expert Layman for $20 says, I suspect that Shoe is one of those very rare people that are neurologically incapable of being petty and bitter in the way the rest of us are. This is incredibly vexing for people attempting to project malfeasance onto her. I don't know. I'm sure Shoe could be just as petty and bitter as anyone else. I'm not sure I agree with that. But we'll ask her. Shoe, can you be petty and bitter? Or are you the chosen one? The Ed the Boy for $10 says, quick aside, as someone who has been predated upon both as a child and as an adult. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Predators don't care about other things other than getting their rocks off in the moment. It's all post hoc justification. See, that's how I viewed it. That there's just people that just want to get off at that moment. I don't think, because like there's this idea that like, oh no, it's not that they want to get off, it's that they want to have power over someone. And I don't think
it's so fucking like Judith Butler nonsense.
Yeah, like maybe that's true for some people, but I think
it's true for sadists. That's it. Most people, yeah, you're the sexual attraction you feel towards other people in 99.9% of the population is an affection.
Well,
I want to be close to that person.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about sexual assault cases.
Yeah, but it's like it's the same sort of attraction. It's an attraction. It's not an attraction based on sadism. Yeah, true. Personal satisfaction at the expense of others. It ends up being sadism, but I'm just saying sadism isn't what's driving the.
Well, no, because sadism is, I thought, is expressly taking pleasure in another person's pain. Where this is not taking pleasure in pain. It's simply a dismissal or not caring of another person's pain.
Correct. Yes.
Which is a little different.
Yes.
I mean, it's still obviously awful, but it's different.
That was the contention that we had.
Yeah. J-Mac for $5 says, I'm Sitch and Adam's dad and no one else. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. The Butter Handful for $2 says, Mahler came back. I'm going to have to watch all of it. That's right.
Yeah, Mahler snuck back in, which was awesome.
That was
totally
awesome. Indigo Turtle for $5 says, wait, I'm still confused. Does this mean furries are immoral? There's a chart. I think we showed it on stream once. There's the chart of acceptable furries versus unacceptable furries. So I guess it depends where on the chart you are. Hypno Toad for $20 says, hello, all. I blame Mahler for radicalizing me to a centrist. A-Team all the way, Adam. Where did you hear? Oh, I read this one. Where did you come up with the analogy for the elephant and the rider? Daily Dose for $5 says, Mahler, don't listen to the disbelieving Fringo. I read that one already. J-Mac asking if getting a BJ from a centaur's bestiality. Indigo Turtle for $5 says, what about sapient aliens? Would it be wrong to go on a, quote, peacekeeping mission with sexy alien babes? Of course not, because it's in the name of peace.
Yeah. Well, does that make bestiality in the name of peace? Okay, you might want to rethink that one.
But you're not. No, but animals are not conscious,
right?
Are sentient enough for you to make a peace treaty with an animal via sex. Okay,
right. So you're saying it's causally impossible. That makes sense. Yeah.
Right. And also, they're not hot like the hot. That the hot hypothetical alien baby.
Having sex with hot aliens for peace is totally morally acceptable.
Yes. Yeah. It's not just morally acceptable, it's morally virtuous. Okay.
Yeah.
Callback for $2 says, you guys need to remember the Harkness rule. What's the Harkness rule?
Harkness?
Harkness test refers to a hypothetical set of guidelines in which it would be permissible to have sexual intercourse with a fictional, non-human creature. The criteria is, does this character have human intelligence or greater? Can it talk or otherwise communicate with language? And is it of sexual maturity for its species?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
What if its sexual maturity for the species is like 100 years old?
Well, there you go. That's an interesting question.
Then you're gonna get in big trouble.
Yeah.
Like she was 18. That's a child, you moron.
You moron. She's got another 82 years, okay, before she's ready. J-Mac for $5 says, I ate snacks with Jordan Peterson, but I don't think we were supposed to bring food into the lecture.
Jay, I love it.
Thank you, Jay.
That's right.
Adams, I ate dinner with Jimmy Dore. Yes, I ate snacks with Jordan Peterson. Exactly. Thank you, Jay.
You don't like, at least I'm honest about my deception, right?
That's right. At least eventually.
I pulled that one with Shoe too. I said we had dinner with Shoe, even though Shoe was sitting at a different table in the same restaurant.
Junebug for $5 says, I'm terrified of socialism and communism and haven't found a good reason not to be. Yes, I agree. The Crappy Robot for £5 says, off to work. Love you guys. Mwah. Thank you for the kiss, Crappy Robot.
Yeah.
As a robot, Adam is especially turned on.
Yeah, definitely.
J-Mac for $5 says, we did gene editing for my daughter. My wife has a genetic disease, so we wanted to ensure our kids didn't have the same issue she has. Wow, I didn't even know that was available yet. That's awesome.
Well,
Jay.
it depends because if you do IVF, you get a number of eggs and they do genetic testing on all the eggs and then select the best candidate. If that's what you mean.
Okay. Because right after Jay says for another $5 says, correction, it was more like gene selecting, not necessarily gene altering. Okay, that makes more sense.
The thing that I told you about, because obviously they have to use, they get eggs from the donor, and if they can make eggs out of skin cells, then they can have like 96 eggs to choose from, which is just turns it into a whole different ball game. They can basically give you whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of like Gattaca.
Hell yeah.
With editing.
It is exactly like that.
Andrew Clark for $2 says, Adam, read quote on fairy stories. It's an essay by Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
On fairy
stories. Matrix Remixed for $5 says, if you want to chat the Matrix, invite me on.
Hell yeah. I like the Matrix.
Gabbles for 20 Knock Knock says, what was H.P. Lovecraft's cat names? Google won't. What was H.P. Lovecraft's cat's name? Google won't say. Wasn't it like the N-word or something?
Oh, no.
Something awful. Some racial slur. Pim Tool. Oh, my God. The alternative mirror universe of Tim Pool. Pim Tool for 50 PHP says, still shit class and asshole team. Take my money.
Okay.
Thank you, Pim. He's from a bizarre universe, so he says everything backwards.
Tim Pool's mad at us.
Yes. Well, this is Pim Tool, not Tim Pool.
Right.
Errant Cognition for $2 says, A-Team is the silent majority. Prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Rick Jammer for 50 PHP says, please say in the Seinfeld voice, it's a comedy show.
It's a comedy show.
It's a comedy show.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Adam, why is the surf's clipping us? It's a comedy show.
That's pretty good.
We just tell jokes.
How do you do that?
I don't know. Because it's a comedy show, Adam. That's how I do it.
That's good. I can see your eyes bugging out, just like Jerry Seinfeld. Your eyes have to bug out when you make that voice.
Is it?
That's part of it, yeah.
Okay,
that's part of it.
I don't know. Adam, I'm not sure.
It's a comedy show.
Telling jokes here. Why is everyone trying to clip us? I just don't like socialists. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Wooster for $2 says, the Virgin Theist versus the Chad Khan. Terrible. David Puffers, 7 Canadian. Thank you so much, David. Oversized Trash Panda for $5 says, liking the taste of envelope glue is a total Ralph Wiggum move, Adam. That is true.
Sad.
J-Mac for $5 says, I'm with Adam. It does taste good.
I'll bring the meme up just in honor of envelope glue.
There you go. I'm telling you, Jay genetically passed down the envelope glue liking gene to Adam, so I believe that.
What do they put in envelope glue that makes it so yummy?
Oh my God. I am curious. I want you to look up what envelope glue is made out of to see the disgusting thing that you like.
They should on envelopes. They should put like Taste
Do not
better.
eat.
No. They should market the taste better. 4 out of 5 people love the taste of our envelopes.
Buy tasty, new scented, tasty envelopes. Yes,
Yeah.
there you go. I remembered that was a plot line from Seinfeld.
No way.
Well, no, not the. It was that George was getting married to this woman that he didn't want to get married to, and she ends up dying because the wedding envelopes that she's licking, like the glue, was toxic.
What?
So she ends up dying from licking all the envelopes.
That's sad. They must have been tasty. What? How did I leave this in here?
What'd you do?
The picture of you staring at my ding dong, my plushy ding dong.
I'm staring at the fact that there is none because they're not anatomically correct. I'm like, Adam,
I guess so.
Was it worth it?
No, it wasn't.
William Kurt for $10 says, it is now my time. I read that one. Wait a minute. How did I read that one already?
The cute kitten head on Sitch is so good.
Oh, no, this was, I think William just made a similar one today. It is now my time to plug the Catholic Church. These problems around bestiality go away under Orthodox Catholic theism. It's wrong by this frame for a similar reason why masturbation is wrong. Disagree completely. Dr. Diller for $2 says, what the hell is wrong with you people? That's right. Thank you, doctor. Everything. Oh, God. Vosh's anal beads. Ugh, Vosh's anal beads have shown up in the chat.
Oh, my God.
For $5 says, please end my suffering. Somebody please help those poor anal beads.
You're going to have to go into Vosh's anus and grab them.
Yes.
A rescue mission.
I know, Jesus. The butter info for $5 says, Shoe letting Vosh shame her for platform use annoys me because Vosh literally advocates for political virus. He is unironically a stochastic terrorist.
I know.
There you go. Sashman for 35 Zardoses. So I read that one. Contrast for 2 Aussies says, Dave Rubin walked into a church and said, I agree. True.
He did.
He did. Drunk Shovel for $2 says, Ave, true to Sargon. Enlightened Centrist for €5 says, the fuck, I watched the stream, went to sleep and stood up, took a shower, made breakfast, and you guys are still streaming. That's right. Never stop.
Everyone loves it.
Misthrib 6 for 50 Kazark says, we should declare exterminatus over centrist militia. The corrupt and degeneracy clearly went too far. Referring to the MPreg video.
Yeah.
Terrible. I agree. It's a big problem. We need to get rid of it. Diogenes for $5 says, so I guess the Super Chat show is official now. If we could only do a call-in stream as well, also a team reigns supreme.
Yes.
PSA Sitch. Oh my God. It's PSA Sitch and not someone named James for $2 says, hey now, it's your female dog, PSA Sitch, here to unenthusiastically read every A-team super chat. That is true. That is true.
Sweet.
S-Class who eats ass. Well, there you go. There's some S-Class ass eaters out there. For $3 says, wait, hold on. I fuck animals every day. What is wrong with that? That's what's taking the 08 housing crash video so long, by the way. There you go. There you go. Too busy fucking animals. Then doing that housing crash video. I know. Just knock it off. Just stop.
Can't you like set the little dog on your lap and work on the video at the same time, Sitch?
I'm fucking animals because humans are animals, Adam. Okay.
Oh, that's true. Can't you just set her? Can't you just set your girlfriend on your lap and work on the video at the same time?
I've tried doing that. It's very distracting. They start whining. They're like, Sitch senpai, pay attention to me. I'm like, I can't, babe. Gotta work on the video. And then you start gyrating. I'm like, stop. I'm trying to work on the video. It's very complicated. Duck-sized whores. Wow. A duck-sized whores. I'm not sure. That a duck the size of a whore? Says, I fuck S-Class all the time. What is wrong with this guy? Big Joel, more like Big Joke, am I right? Especially when I don't have a video regarding the 2008 housing market crash and subsequent recession. That would be so entertaining. There you go. Slipper on shoulder for $5 says, "Simp is just Zoomer for White Knight. Fight me." It's a little different. It's a little different, but similar enough.
Yeah.
Magor for $1 says, "A man runs over the family dog, killing it. He then has intercourse with it, cleans it, cooks it, feeds it to his family, then uses its pelt to clean his toilet. Is this moral or immoral, and why?" That is completely immoral.
That's like
100%
stacking them
immoral.
all together right there.
Yeah, right. Just read Jonathan Haidt's Righteous Mind if you want to know why that's immoral. Small Joel for $1 says, "It's almost like commie grifters don't believe the morality they preach." Thinking emoji. Yes, it's almost like that. That's very true. Utter Nonsense for $2 says, "Quick question. Are the plushies voodoo dolls?" Unrelated question. Do they come with sewing pins and matches? No, the plushies do not have any voodoo powers. We apologize. That will be for the next one.
Yeah, that would be very dangerous. We would probably not sell those, or we would charge a lot more money and continue to sell them.
Yes. Janos Kuhn for $2 says, "Hey now, Sitch, your refusal to say which Lauren you would marry, despite Lauren Chen being a fan of your work, means you choose to marry Lauren Southern. Not sure if not saying anything to preserve her feelings, S is classy or simpy." I didn't want to answer the question because both those beautiful young ladies are married. It just it feels disrespectful.
Right. It is disrespectful.
That's why, Janos. Yeah. I'm white knighting here. I'm not simping. I'm white knighting. I'm being classy.
We believe in morality, despite everyone thinking we believe might makes right, which is wrong.
That's right. What is the second word of S class? It's class, because S class is dripping with class. Okay.
Yes.
Janos Kuhn for $1 says, "Adam, would you rather be reincarnated as a 30-year-old class hero, laser glasses in one..." Wait, let me start this again. This is a complicated question. Would you rather be reincarnated as a 30-year-old A class hero named Laser Glasses in the One Punch Man universe, or as Shota Magatsuchi in Dragon Maid's World? Also,
I'm thinking Dragon Maid's World. I looked at that's the harem comic, right?
I think that's the little boy that is like the boy that the big busty dragon maid to take care of or something.
Right.
Yes. So you're gonna choose that one?
What do you think? I think I'm
gonna 100% choose that one. Are you kidding me?
I go with them. Yeah. Definitely.
One Punch Man universe is dangerous. I don't know if I want to live in that. The amount of people that die.
A bunch of busty maids, that I can boss around. Oh my goodness. Heaven.
That's right.
I'm ready. Sign me up. Clip that, Elstoffel. Sign me up.
Johnny Hellcat for $5 says, "Don't be like Chank. Nay means nay." Thank you, Johnny. Thank you.
That's funny.
Dr. Dealer for $2 says, "Please stop embarrassing Sargon. He's my favorite Akkadian."
Were we embarrassing Sargon? I hope not.
I hope not. Stog for $5 says, "A moral system is derived from a set of axioms for what is good and what is bad. Sargon seems content to let bestiality, for example, be an axiom in and of itself, while Sitch and Adam think that there are one or more axioms that lead to bestiality being bad." True. That is true. Dr. Diller for $3 says, quote, "There's no reason to kill all the men and women and children in a city. Oh, buddy, don't tell Sargon the tale of Arthas Menethil." That's a sad and miserable tale. That's right. Arthas did nothing wrong except for picking up a possessed sword and becoming the undead king. But beyond that, he did nothing wrong. True.
Sounds dangerous.
Very dangerous. Slipper off shoulder for $1 says, "There's no black and white framework that defines morality in all actions. QED, fight me." Yeah, I agree with that. Sargon's bed for $1 says, "I miss you."
People were trying to get Sargon to leave.
That's right. Dr. Dealer for $1 says, "Forget the video, LOL. Just label this as Adam and Sitch versus Sargon and Mahler morality debate." Aztec Gang. It's the Aztec Gang for $1 says, "Who would win, one horse-sized Genghis or 10 duck-sized Caesars?" I think the one horse-sized Genghis would win. I'm pretty sure that in a straight-up fight, Genghis Khan was probably stronger and more brutal than Caesar. But I thought it was like more of like a military genius, not like a fighter, like straight up one-on-one fighter guy.
Yeah.
Also, Caesar had a brain aneurysms too. So it's a problem.
Brutality.
Utter Nonsense for 420 says S-Class sends unsolicited dick pics to GILFs.
True. True.
On their jitterbug phones. I don't think jitterbug phones can even get pictures.
What the fuck is a jitterbug?
A jitterbug is like an old person phone that's like if you have like your grandma's she doesn't know how to work the smartphone, it's too complicated, you get them a jitterbug. It's just like a phone. That's all it is.
Jitterbug phone.
We had to get my grandma one.
Okay.
And I did not send her any dick pics. A-Team returns library books on time after forcing their S-Class sidekicks to read the words for them. A-Team Crunch Wrap Supreme. There you go.
My God, that's so good.
I used to love Crunch Wrap Supremes back when I ate fast food.
Those are delicious.
Yep. Lemon Drop for $5 says, quote, your flippant critique of my defense of banging animals is anti-intellectualism. I am very smart. I wonder if Big Joe understands the optics of acting like intuitive common rationality is to oppose, quote, intellectualism. Hashtag A-Team is S-Class. Yeah, true. He totally missed the optics argument and perspective that Shoe was mocking in that conversation.
He didn't though, because he mentioned that at the end of the video, didn't he? I thought he did.
No. He didn't understand that part of the joke is that Shoe was like mocking how having these debates looks to the normie.
Optically, yes.
Yes. Joel did not notice that. He was only commenting on Shoe sort of creating her own optics as if she is the normie outside the conversation.
Didn't he compare it to what the vegans were doing though and saying it's the same thing? The vegans are optically trying to make it sound like they're trying to compare meat eating with bestiality, which sounds bad.
I mean, I said that. Joel did not say that.
I thought he did.
I don't think he did.
I think he did in the video.
Dr. Diller for $1 says, I love how Mahler sensed there was a long argument to be had and he felt he had to participate.
I love that super chat.
It's a good one. Like Mahler's just wandering around and suddenly he's like, the long man sense is tingling.
Right.
I must join here.
Sitch and Adam must be streaming right now. I sense I could be a part of an 11-hour stream.
Yes, exactly. Dr. Diller for $3 says, why would you advocate people be more left-wing rather than advocate for more specific policy positions? It sounds like your goal is just to put people in your tribe rather than truth-seeking Shoe. I mean, I would agree with that. You should advocate for a policy, not like a position on the political spectrum.
I think it's more Vosh doing that than Shoe, though. I think Shoe is more about advocating for a political position outside of tribe. I listened when Vosh did the stream where he threw Shoe under the bus. It was really fascinating to me the way he was talking like a fucking authoritarian about how he knows how to manage his audience. Like, he was basically talking about them like they were livestock or something.
Right.
And I was thinking, this is the biggest difference between what we do and what he does. He sees himself as it's funny they always talk about feudalism, but he sees himself as like gathering this fiefdom, this like voting block that he can use to gain political power for himself. And we're just trying to entertain you guys. We're trying to have an entertaining
comedy show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
And it was even doubly ironic because he's all like, my community is pretty good at not attacking people. And I'm like, and I literally tweeted that, I'm like, fucking Vosh's community got Destiny departnered from Twitch. Like,
I remember that.
Talking about?
Yes, they're awful.
It's ridiculous.
The idea that he can control them like that is just
and then
ridiculous.
His defense was that I can't control the people that did it. I told them not to do it. That was his literal defense when he talked to Destiny about it. Like, fuck off, Vosh. Jesus Christ. It's terrible. Dr. Dealer for $3 says, Vosh ducked out of the CRT debate he asked for. He constantly is acting in bad faith. The things he advocates for are horrendous. He seems to be devoid of any sense of common morality. Why is it unacceptable to hate Vosh? He's human garbage. I mean, I don't think it's unacceptable. You can hate whoever you want.
You can hate whoever you want, but he did say that he loved us before he ducked out of the CRT debate. So
that's true. That's true.
He did say, "I love these guys."
He did say it sarcastically.
He did. You got to be more like Shoe. You got to have the zen. Well, he did say he loved us.
There you go. The Sharpcast for $10 says, one of my longtime friends is a Trumple. He is always blaming Democrats for his problems. Thanks, Obama. I vote Democrat naturally, but I never took it personal. I spend time with him making fun of SJWs and crazy economic policies we don't agree with. There you go.
Yeah.
I predict that Mama's political region is... Oh, I read that one. CT for $1 says, I'm looking forward to the new Matrix. It has Keanu Reeves in it. So that's it. That's all it takes to get me on board for a movie. Don't get me wrong. I have zero expectations. It'll be good. I just really like Keanu Reeves. That's funny because I don't give a fuck about Keanu Reeves.
I don't
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I know everyone loves him now for some reason because it's like a meme, but I mean, he's fine. I don't dislike him. He's not a good actor. What can I say?
I'm trying to think of someone who would be better in it, but.
Well, it's funny because like if you watch the first Matrix again and you like listen and conceptualize the dialogue, you realize that the Neo that was written was very different than the Neo we got. Because the Neo, like, there's that line where he's like, when the boss is like giving him the ultimatum, or no, when Agent Smith's giving the ultimatum, he's like, how about I give you the finger and then I ask for my phone call?
Yeah.
So like Neo's supposed to be this kind of like rebel, you know, rebellious hacker type, but because it's Keanu Reeves, it's just like
it comes off as like very soy.
Not soy, but just unemotional, just like stiff.
Well, I thought that scene, I was like, oh yeah, you're such a badass.
I didn't think it came off like that. It just came off like because everything Keanu Reeves says is so deadpan. Like, like, it's all neutral emotionally. But I'm sure he's a nice person. Okay. CT for $1 says, I have a spicier voting take than Adams. Let 12-year-olds vote. But as soon as you hit 80, and that is that as soon as you hit 80, the world isn't yours anymore. You don't get to vote. The boomers need to stop fucking up the world for future generations. No politicians over 70 either.
You don't get to vote?
I don't agree with that one. But
80-year-olds don't get to vote.
80-year-olds don't get to vote. And if you're over 70, you don't get to be a politician.
Well, I'm more sympathetic to that because we have a lot of people who are politicians now that are just...
We can have term limits.
They don't. Yeah, term limits would be good.
I mean, because I understand like the idea, but there is wisdom that comes to some people in age, and I don't think you want to like cut off the entire population from, you know, giving wisdom and helping society.
The problem is, in a technologically advanced society, that wisdom becomes useless. Like certain.
Not really. What do you mean?
Well, certain things do become useless.
Certain things, but wisdom about human behavior does not become useless.
When did anyone have any wisdom about human behavior?
Those that forget the past, Adam, are doomed to repeat it.
I don't think anyone has any wisdom about it. There's wisdom out there. I think some people do, but I don't think anyone.
There's a reason you'll have the generation that lives through communism will be very anti-communism because they lived through it. The generation that didn't will be open to trying it because they didn't experience it. And you need to listen to the wisdom of those who lived through it.
I wonder if we could convince Vosh to advocate for UBI instead of worker co-ops. I think he's against capitalism, but he's against capitalism because he conceives of capitalism as forced labor. He's, you know, if you're poor, you have to work a job, and normally you have to work a terrible job, right?
Right.
But if you have UBI, that takes that force off the table. Why do you need the worker co-ops? Doesn't UBI better deal with the issue?
But you don't understand. They view the act of capital private ownership as immoral. You're looking at this as like the consequences of what's happening.
But don't they view it as immoral because it forces people to work for others? I mean, that's why they always talk about feudalism. They always talk about feudalism as being forced to work for the capital class.
No. They view the idea of making profit off of someone as immoral.
Right, but the argument for that is a lot weaker if someone is not forced to work, if working is fully optional.
Well, it's weaker, but they would still feel that it's immoral.
Yeah, I think there are people in that group that could be persuaded if there was no coercive element in labor
Well, but
at
there's
all.
always going to be a coercive element because then they'll say,
Why?
oh, well, because even if you could survive on UBI, you'd still want more money to have a better standard of living.
Then that's not coercion.
Well, they'll say it is.
Not our fault. Nut up. If you want
It's
luxuries,
psychological conversion.
if you want luxuries, you got to work hard.
Okay.
You're working hard for the luxuries.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But again, it doesn't address their moral claim. Their moral claim is that
They don't
making
have
profit
a
off of
moral
someone is
claim.
bad.
That's
Well,
all
their moral
post-hoc
feeling. Okay.
That's post hoc reasoning.
It's I just look. I
What
agree
is
that
what is
that,
the emotion
their
that's
claim,
driving that
it's
claim
it's a
that
sense
it's immoral?
it's a sense of unfairness. Right?
Because it's subjugation. It's a Liberty Oppression Foundation.
Right. They say because they conceptualize it like this: why does the person who owns the business who does nothing get to reap in all this money? And to some extent, I understand that.
We're
and I
doing
agree
all
with
the
that
work.
to some
They're getting
extent.
all the money.
Right.
They feel subjugated.
But that's why I'm saying that's why UBI doesn't address that at all.
UBI does, because anybody that's getting subjugated can say, "There's the door. Fuck off. Get out of here."
Okay. Whatever. Anyways, Dr. Diller for $1 says, I was listening to the TISM podcast the other night. Jeremy of the Quartering fame is worried that Friday Night Tights people would make Alex Jones really angry and call him a Dumbo or something.
Really?
There you go.
What podcast was that on? Because Jeremy does a podcast with Bering, right? I like Bering.
That's the TISM one, yeah.
That's the Great Salt Mine, though.
So there's some controversy because I don't watch Friday Night Tights at all. But there's some controversy because they did a podcast with Alex Jones.
Yeah, I watched it.
I didn't watch it because it's like 5 hours long. And I know some people were attacking them because Alex Jones is coming out as anti-vax or something. And they were basically all just agreeing, supposedly.
Vito did. Vito, I actually met and had a long conversation with because he was on the Kill stream, and I talked to him while we were waiting
so
for everyone to get there. So
did you listen to the Friday Night Tights Alex Jones stream?
I listened to half of it, yeah, and Alex was getting conspiracy theory crazy, obviously, but that stuff shouldn't be yeeted from YouTube. It's ridiculous that Alex Jones got yeeted off of YouTube. It's people know. Well, listen, there's the Weekly World News in the supermarket still. Why the fuck is Alex Jones being?
But it's weird because I agree that it shouldn't be yeeted, and I don't agree with Vito like tagging YouTube to try to get that removed. I think that's
Vito.
Really
Vito was way out of line.
Really in poor taste. However, I do think if you have someone like Alex Jones, talking about conspiracy theory stuff, that's fine. But I do think that you should, if you disagree with it, that you should push back on it and you should have a conversation about why you think it's wrong. And the problem is that, and I didn't see this podcast, so I don't know if they do, but the problem is like, if I'm talking to Alex Jones, when you're talking to someone who's like, like so much more famous than you, or like has such like power, so much more power than you do,
you can't push back.
Are going to feel like, oh, I can't push back because I don't want to piss them off.
Right.
I want them to come on the show again in the future, blah, 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 blah. And so
that
can be a problem.
This exact situation happened with the Zack Snyder stuff when they had Zack Snyder on, and Zack Snyder basically came on and said, I don't want to be associated with some of these people because, they're all racist, basically is what he said.
Right. No,
that's the time to push back and say, Zack, we don't want to be associated with racists either.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's why I liked, I thought, one of my favorite streams was way back when we had Mally Buddha on, and we were talking about like, me and him were going back and forth with the conspiracy stuff because I think it's interesting to like debate that.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You shouldn't just have someone just spout a bunch of stuff and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it unchallenged because I don't want to fight them.
I don't know though. They're an entertainment show. They're not a political show. It would be odd for them to fight back. I understand what you're saying.
It's a comedy show thing. Like we say, it's like it's sort of a meme. You don't get to say like you're a comedy show and then you have someone on who's like talking 99% politics and then say, well, we're a comedy show, so we're just gonna let them rant. Like that's not good.
Yeah.
Now, again, I didn't watch this, so I don't know if that's what happened, but that's just my impression of what people are describing as what happened.
What we're talking about is responsible platforming, guys.
Well, it's not a question of responsible. I mean, I
It
guess it is a
is.
question of
It
responsible
is.
platforming.
I don't
Also,
think
just
there's
makes
anything wrong with talking
it makes
about it.
the hosts look kind of like bitches because it's
Mhm.
like, well, why aren't you pushing back here? Like,
I just want to say that I love Gary and that
Mhm.
Sitch is calling people bitches is offensive to me.
there you go, there you go. I didn't watch the show. I've never seen it, so I'm just saying this is all conceptual. It's all
I'm
conceptual.
lasering you for that comment.
That's fine. You laser me for that content. Dr. Diller for $3 says, actually, Sitch, there is an evolutionary psychological explanation for the revulsion of cannibalism. Cannibalism tends to drastically increase prion-induced diseases. They're probably some of the most horrible ways to die, possibly to become immune, but would see why people would be terrified of them. Look up the effects of fatal insomnia, or especially Kuru, and you can see how it would be psychologically damaging. No, it was annoying because of the way the conversation went. We didn't like get into it, but
Mhm.
no, that's 100% true. And I would assume that, like, and I think this is true of like a lot of kosher laws. You look at like the Bible, and there's all these weird kosher laws about what you can and cannot eat. And you have to remember, back in the day before science, what would happen? You'd have one tribe of people would be eating, their dead relatives, and the other tribe would notice that those people would get sick.
Yeah, very
die,
sick.
or they'd have some like weird illness or something. And now the people aren't scientifically minded to understand like prions and blah, 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 blah. So what they say is, oh, well, God must be punishing them for eating the dead corpses of their relatives, right? And so that kind of gets passed down, via the culture for years and years and years. I think it's kind of the same thing with kosher laws. So yeah, no, definitely. There definitely is both biological and cultural evolution reasons for all of these things. And to me, I think it's fascinating to explore those
I agree.
reasons.
There's a million empirical arguments in the book, The Secret of Our Success by Joseph Henrich, and what I can't remember the name of Joseph Henrich's new book. And he even goes into a tribe that was on the decline, but the neighboring tribe was doing kick ass, and they sent all their chieftains out to go over to the tribe that was kicking ass to adopt all of their moral prescriptions and behaviors and whatever, their rules, their laws, whatever. So they went over, and one of the things they had to adopt was the women sing to the pigs. so they included this in their list of things to do because the tribe, why are we successful? We don't know. Here's everything we do. So they end up, okay, so now all the women are singing to the pigs.
That's a funny story. My Aikido teacher, way back in the day when I was taking Aikido, told us this story about how he was at some sort of like martial arts convention meetup thing or whatever. And there was some Aikido guy who was like really, really good at Aikido. And whenever he would do his moves, he would kind of hold his left arm in like this very awkward, bizarre position that wasn't really conducive to practicing Aikido. And my teacher noticed that all of the students were doing the same thing.
Yes.
And so he asked the teacher, he says, why do you hold your arm out like that? And he says, oh, well, it's because I had a stroke and I lost muscle control in this one arm. And all the students, no one thought to ask him why he was doing it. They just copied it.
Yes.
They just copied it. And none of them knew it was because he had a stroke.
See,
so, yeah.
But this goes back to the argument we were having with Sargon, because we just think it's interesting to find the scientific reason behind the stuff. Maybe it is the singing to the pigs. We don't know. Let's do some experiments. Let's figure it out.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it's like the whole talking to the plants and stuff. Who would have ever guessed that would have an effect, right?
Yeah, see, and this is why people like Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson comes in and goes, oh, there's this study that explains why this is totally correct in this
why
Bible.
You can sing to the pigs, yes.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's fun.
Adding to the message pile for $1 says, what's the point of morality anyways?
To bind people into a cooperative group to compete against other groups.
There you go. Donator for $10 says, if everyone donates enough, we will get a stream every day. That's technically true.
That is technically true. We'll be full-time YouTubers.
Death by will be full-time super chat readers. Death by Sloth for $5 says, I'd love for you to ask Big Joel if he thinks correcting the historic marginalization of trans people by creating an environment where transitioning is seen as a total positive is worth an unknown number of edge cases needing to eventually detransition. I'm sure that will come up in the course of the conversation.
That is the question. We want Sitch to ask it though, because I'm going to get triggered by the answer. Look,
That's
I think we
true.
got another backer here on Sammy's campaign.
Nice. That's
Sitch.
right, guys. If you want the Sitch and Adam plushies, please click the link in the description.
Right.
They are there.
And she's doing this because she wants, she was going to do them anyway. She just wants to know how many to make, because the more you make, the less it costs to get them actually made. But
That's
these
right.
could be very, very limited edition if we only do like 100. If we only do 100 or 200 plushies, if that's all that's in existence. I know that makes them worth more. Like Mauler Rags, I think they did thousands of them, so they're worth a lot less. They're not worth this much. You know, they're everywhere. Everyone has those.
That's a silly argument. The Old Testament law was largely a way for Hebrews to separate themselves from the other Canaanites. That may be true, but you have to ask yourself, and this is what we're getting at, why they chose the specific things to separate themselves from specific people. Now, I don't believe, now maybe they did, but I would be very skeptical that ancient people basically spun a dreidel and just whatever it landed on, they said, okay, we're going to put a cow, a chicken, and a shrimp here, and whatever the dreidel lands on, we're not going to eat. And that's how they established kosher laws. I'm pretty sure that's not what happened. I'm pretty sure what happened is people observed people engaging in specific behaviors, and they found that people were not successful or became sick by engaging those behaviors, and so they just said, don't do X. That's why these rules get passed down successfully for thousands and thousands of years. But that's my take on the issue. Yes. Utter Nonsense for $3 says, there was once a lad named Sitch. Now we know who's making all the housing.
Who ended up in a...
There's once a lad named Sitch who decided to be a little bitch.
Oh my God.
In 2008, there was quite the bubble whose pop did cause some trouble, but a video he did not pitch. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Utter Nonsense. Very desperate for me to make that video.
Well, I feel like it would be way different now. I've learned so much more about the housing crash.
5-year-old for $1 says, girls have cooties, so simping is bad. QED. True. True. CT for $1 says, just to be clear, when I call you guys mean names, I don't mean it at all. You're both great. Oh, thank you, CT. Sure. I will deny ever saying this in the future, as in right now. It never happened. Fake news, can't prove it. I'm taking a screenshot. I can prove it. I can prove it. Pim Tool. It's our old friend Pim Tool for $1 says, it's simple. It's simple, man. It's simple.
Anything that starts with "it's simple" is probably wrong.
True. Let's see. Where are we on the super chat?
Yeah, how are we doing? We're a half hour over. What's going on? I got a comic to draw here.
Deuce Rex for $5 says, totally unrelated as a man named Blair myself. Every time you talk about Blair White and call her she or her, I'm very confused in my head. That's funny. The crappy robot for £2 says Subnautica Below Zero is crap. Do you agree? Yes, Subnautica Below Zero is a disappointing, crappy game. So much so that I actually did begin writing a script for a video on it. Who knows if that will ever get done.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it's very disappointing. I love Subnautica. I think it's one of the best games ever made. Subnautica Below Zero is a very, very disappointing sequel.
Maximum triggering.
Yes, I was very triggered by it. Yes. The copy robot for £2 says, fan of Ricky Gervais, watch Idiot Abroad.
Yeah.
I sent you that funny Ricky Gervais clip where he's like talking to
From the Invention of Lying?
No. It's the one where he's talking. What's the guy's name from Taken? Liam Neeson. He's talking to Liam Neeson.
Oh yeah, that is
Liam
hilarious.
Neeson's like trying to do improv with him.
That is hilarious. Yes. Oh yeah, that was good.
If you guys haven't seen it, look up Ricky Gervais, Liam Neeson. It's hilarious.
It's the kind of clip you can watch 5 times and it's hilarious every time.
Yes. William Kerr for $10 says, the degeneracy argument is silly. Any normal understanding of Catholicism teaches that humans have always been degenerate. It's just that sexual sin is more prominent nowadays than in the past. That's true. I mean, that's what religion does believe. Humans are born into sin. They all have original sin. So
I've always been proud of my degeneracy, though. So when you guys say degenerate, I wear it as a badge of honor.
You're like, yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Mission accomplished.
Yes. Hey, Sam.
Oh, is that Sammy G? What's up,
Sam's in
Sammy?
the
Look,
chat. Hey.
look, we're officially selling some plushies here.
That's right. Get on the plushies. Everyone, click the link in the description. Buy a Sitch and Adam plushie. Look at them. They're adorable. Adorable.
Yes.
Fajekadicus for $20 says Sargon is a subjectivist, but is willing to accept a priori that his morality is superior. Adam and Sitch are objectivists, but their argument isn't sufficient for preventing future amoral behavior. That's a very conservative position. Weird. Sure.
Yes.
Majin Boo for $5 says, all right, Sitch, the most important question.
Mm-hmm.
Yandere, Kuendre, or Sundere? Adam.
Sundere.
That's who you're going with?
I guess. Yes. I'll give it a whirl. Sundere. How do I spell that?
Might be on the yandere. I mean, it depends what level of yandere we're talking about. Yandere is good until it gets to the like murder and torture realm. Then you're in the problem area. So if I could cap the yandere at no murder, no torture, maybe just some light kidnapping, then I'm on the yandere team. That's where I am. Tsundere Adam is the female character generally who acts cold or temperamental or hot-headed towards a character, but like secretly, is in love with them.
Oh, I like that. I picked good. I picked wisely.
Yes.
Hothead, but secretly in love. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're so stupid, but like they love you.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Know a lot of ladies like that.
Sam says S-class terrain. I like that. That will be the new S-class derivation. The S-class terrains. Regretful Brosolini for $5 says, ordered a copy of Supervillain Anonymous last week. Best $35 I've spent. Also, A-Team is the best team.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Aiden. Aiden in the chat says, murder and torture is kind of the whole thing.
What?
Look, I think you can have yandere with limits, okay? You can have it with limits. Don't let my dream die, okay?
Yandere.
Yandere is like the girl who's like totally obsessed with like the stalker, basically. The stalker character.
Oh, you picked Yandere?
Yeah, I picked the stalker.
Why?
As long as it's not dangerous, it's good, right?
Oh, I just searched Yandere. I'm gonna bring a picture up for you here. just so you can comfort yourself in knowing, this can't be dangerous. This is not dangerous at all.
What did you find on when you Googled yandere?
I found your cute little yandere girl with a bloody knife.
Listen.
What's going on here?
Listen.
Oh my God.
A man can dream, right? A man can dream.
That looks like Sitch blood.
There you go.
Holy cow. This is not. Oh my
Listen, they
goodness.
obviously killed some socialist who was trying to get you canceled. Okay, it's all fine.
Oh, that's when your stalker works to your advantage.
Exactly.
Stalkers are a great character motif because sometimes you can be there's a lot of ways to make yourself conflicted about a stalker.
One of the most bizarre and interesting documentaries is called "I Think We're Alone Now." Have you ever seen this?
I don't remember seeing it.
Do you know the song "I Think We're Alone Now"?
Yes,
by Tiffany. There's a documentary of the same name, I believe, that's about two Tiffany stalkers that have been stalking her for years. And the thing that makes it interesting is that like they start interacting with each other and they hate each other.
I think I have seen this, actually.
It's so funny because they're both like, oh, I'm
middle-aged
like the
guys.
real stalker.
Yeah.
And then they're competing with each other about like who's like the actual stalker or who's the better stalker.
Tiffany and I.
Looks like it looks like the whole thing is on YouTube. I think we're alone.
Oh,
now.
interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
A rebel upload, it looks like. But I do remember watching this and being like, these people are insane. Completely delusional. Delusional people are dangerous.
Sitch Chan would not be Yandere. I think Sitch Chan would be total Shoe0nhead. Probably. William Kirk for $5 says there's a difference between saying moral opinion is subjective across populations, but that doesn't mean moral propositions can't be true or false.
I think there are some moral propositions that definitely can be the poison pill for a moral system. Slavery, I think, is one of them. I think if a society without slavery goes up against a society with slavery, the non-slavery society will obviously win out.
Our Contraire for $5 says, check out Peg O'Connor's quote, morality and our complicated form of life, feminist Wittgensteinian meta-ethics against both realism and anti-realism.
I like it.
Galus Janus for $20 says, just started watching the stream, but I love the debate Sunday. I also want to say that S-Class has fat asses that make A-Team cream their jeans.
Interesting. Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that S-Class is the best class.
Oh.
Thank you.
Interesting way to go about it.
I like it. Doomer Politics. Hey, Doomer. Doomer Politics for $2 says, what is wrong with simping? Oh, Doomer. If you have to ask, you'll never know.
Did Doomer super chat that? Really?
He did.
Doomer. No.
Doomer, no.
You were the chosen one. We have another chosen one situation here.
That's true. Edgar Friendly Civics Teacher for £2 says, Panem? What's Panem? Panem is a sovereign nuclear state and democratic constitutional republic that was established. Oh, this is from the Hunger Games. Oh. Panem today, Panem tomorrow, Panem forever. Yeah, some people were saying that like AOC's Met Gala dress, like she looks like she's a Hunger Games character.
Yeah, someone tweeted out a bunch of them that look straight out of the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Simon O'Leary for 10 New Zealand dollars says, Adam, listen to Dan Carlin's Wrath of the Khans. It's on YouTube, and learn about the Mongolians so you can sharpen up your critique. It's way more complicated than it seems. A-Team makes it plain.
Yeah, that podcast, the history podcast I'm going to listen to. Dan Carlin, Mongolians.
There you go.
Do they do the beef? Are they the Mongolian beef people?
I don't know. Abby Muhammad for 219 sexy sexist. Thank you so much. Abdi says, my super chat was to Shoe and commenting on workplace democracy and worker cooperatives. Also, give me some halal free will now. That's right. You'll get all the halal free will that you want. I don't know what 20, I think 219 sex translates into 220 free units of free will. So there you go, Abdi. Enjoy.
All of our free will goes out in USD, so you have to do the conversion.
That's true. Yeah. If AOC has abs, rip United States. There you go.
Yeah.
Coach Row for $2 says, rename the channel to Adam and Sitch. Never!
Never.
Adam's red shorts for $5. Hey, look, your red shorts are donating. Adam's red shorts for $5 says, I can confirm that the plushies are anatomically correct. Adam is completely smooth down there.
Oh my God. So evil.
Spencer Harmon for $20 says, you guys keep on saying free will. There's nothing free about exercising your will. We have agency or will, the ability to choose, but that doesn't absolve us from consequences. There's nothing free about it. That's true, Spencer. That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe we should come up with a better term. The science has changed for $2. Thank you so much. The science has changed. Brian for $10 says, why is a vampiric rubber ducky the most dangerous ducks? Because it's always looking for a bloodbath. Shh. Waka waka. Also, capitalism is the only moral system because it's built on consent. I do like systems built on consent.
Yeah, I agree. That's what we're advocating for. Even though everyone's trying to assign us might makes right.
Yes. CT just linked in the chat the link to get the plushies. Everybody click the link. Don't you want your hey now? And bye-bye plushie.
Let's see if let's refresh and see if we got another backer. If not, we can be just completely disappointed. I want a lot of disappointment here.
Buy them for yourselves. Buy them for your loved ones. Buy them from everyone.
No.
You're making Adam sad. Look at that. Gail James for $5 says, I'm behind, but the woman next to AOC is Aura James. She's a dress designer for research purposes for Sitch. She's pretty hot. She's pretty hot.
She was the dress designer?
Oh my God. Yeah. She was very hot in that picture of the AOC.
I noticed you could get 4 giant letters across AOC's behind.
Everyone's talking about AOC. I'm like, who's the girl next to AOC? I don't even feel like I'm just like pushing AOC like down a flight of stairs. Like, get out of my way.
I didn't even recognize her. I'm gonna have to look at these pictures now to see if I can. Here, I'll just go scroll through Twitter and see if I can see if people are still.
You can just Google image the AOC dress. It'll come up.
I'll do that. That's probably an easier way. Is it Wrath of Khan's series? Is that the podcast? I don't know. I just typed Mongols, but
that's what they said it was. They said it was Wrath of Khan. Dan Carlin, yes.
Is Genghis Khan, was he a Mongol?
Yeah, of course.
What's this $2.99 add to cart? I have to pay for it? I have to pay for the podcast?
Oh, what the fuck? That's bizarre.
Let me see here. Oh, it's $12.99 on his website. Oh, interesting.
I thought there was a free version. I listened to some of his podcasts.
Yeah, I thought
so. There you go, Adam. I sent you the picture so you can look at it and then concentrate on the stream. Yes.
Okay.
I know he was furiously Googling.
Look at you, just like the boobs in your face.
That girl's hotter than AOC in every capacity.
Really?
Yes. You don't agree?
Kind of manly a little bit.
Oh my God. Look at this guy. Look at this guy over here. Bring it up. We're going to have to bring it up now. We have to bring it up on stream.
Oh, really?
No, we shouldn't do that. That's wrong.
This is totally sexist. We shouldn't
objectify the ladies here. We are respecters of the women here at the Sitch and Adam show. Mm-hmm. Okay. Gayless Janus for $5.
You know what it looks like it says though? You can't see the T. It looks like it says axe the rich. You notice
that's true. Well, actually, it says axe the nick.
Oh yeah, axe the ick. Axe the ick. I'm in favor of axing the ick.
Yes.
All right, I interrupted again.
Gaius Chance for $5 says, I'm behind, but the woman next to AOC. Oh, I read that one. Crack Rock Steady, your favorite Ninja Turtle supervillain for $5 says, just got out of work a few minutes ago, but I'm dead tired. I'll have to check this out later. I'll take some free will for now. S-Class is best class. Thank you, Crack Rock Steady. You get 5 free units of free will. Sammy says, as a lady, I want to judge, though.
Oh, really? Well,
that's
then,
true.
Okay, then we're allowed
Ladies
to bring
always are more judgmental than men. Okay.
Thank you, Sammy, for giving us cover.
You're giving us the fem pass, the feminoid pass.
We do appreciate it, Sammy. We will bring the photo up right now. This is for science. Here we go. Side by side. Axe the ick versus extreme cleavage in your face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll objectify. Aiden agrees with me. She says, I'll objectify them. AOC's friend is hotter and her dress is cuter. Mm-hmm. Both of those statements. Very true. Look at that dress. Ooh.
Wow. You just got onto AOC's short list for the gulags.
Look at that. Oh, you said she looks like a man. What's wrong with you, Adam? Come on. Spitto, hey Spitto. Spitto says, Adam, you're killing me. First Tulsi, now this. Shaking my head.
Look at this jawline. She has a super strong jaw.
Oh my God, Adam.
Look. She could be a boxer.
Oh my God. You sound like Academic Agent. This woman looks like she could beat me up, so I don't want to go out with her.
I'm not, first of all, Academic Agent. No, don't compare me to Academic Agent. I didn't say I wouldn't have sex with her. Come on. Come on. Let's not go crazy here. I'm a guy, for heaven's sake.
Okay.
Obviously, I wouldn't.
Like if they were making,
I'm happily married. That wouldn't.
Listen.
No, that wouldn't happen. If I was single, it'd be a different story.
Listen, if they were making a live action Archer, that
Mhm.
is who you would want to cast as Lana Kane. Okay.
Oh yeah, that I agree with.
There you go.
Yeah, that I totally agree with.
Yes. Lana's hot.
Yeah.
CT for $1 says, okay, kind of feeling called out now on the topic of Sundays. Yeah, well, you shut up.
What's going on? What happened?
That's funny. That's funny. Rags Dussy. Oh God, it's Rags Ducey for $2 says, did you hear some student picked up all of the mini US flags from the quad and dumped them into like 4 massive trash bags at Washington University in St. Louis? There's an SJW kind of school, so I doubt any justice will come. I can leak the emails. I did see people talking. I didn't look into it. I did see that there was a video and people were talking about that.
It's so weird.
But it is very weird.
So weird. We should. What do you think? I mean, just treason, right?
There you go. It's treason then. Yes. There you go.
Let's see. I'll refresh and see if we got another backer. See if
Adam's gonna feel very sad about himself. Utter Nonsense for $3 says, speaking of Genghis Khan, did you hear about the SJW writer who called him a feminist because he treated his daughter well and put them in charge? I guess you didn't know how those daughters were made. That's hilarious.
Wow.
That's hilarious. And not surprising, really.
Here we go. Reload. Yes. Yes. Another backer. 52 backers. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sam says, well, Sitch likes Tifa, so the whole she looks like she can beat me up must be his thing. I'm not saying that's my thing. I'm just saying that that's not a deal breaker, okay?
Tifa?
Yeah.
We'll have to raid Sitch's Tifa folder one day.
That's right.
See what we can dig up.
See what you can see.
Tifa is a popular anime character that a lot of the artists draw, scantily clad on Twitter. I don't know if you've noticed.
Of course. I've never noticed scantily drawn Tifa drawings. Never in my life.
I was gonna say. I was like, how many of those do you have saved? I mean, I got a couple, but I'm working on a comic. I need reference material.
Oh, I've saved. Adam's like, I've saved these Tifa pictures, but this is just for work. Okay,
it's for reference. It's true. It is. It's work related.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no.
That S-Class cover didn't make itself.
Whatever you have to tell your wife, okay?
Do you notice how Tifa in the S-Class cover is as far away as you could possibly get from Sitch?
So sad. What is Adam doing to me? Why would you do this? Why did you do this?
Yeah. You did get Cowboy Bebop right on your shoulder, though.
You mean Faye Valentine?
Yeah, Faye.
I didn't get Cowboy. I didn't get Spike on my.
Yeah.
JMac for $50. Thank you so much, JMac. Says, just back the plushies. I'm going to be conducting a series of tests to see whose plushie is the most desirable, including the Mauler and Rags plushie. My daughter will be the subject, and the results will be undeniable proof for science. That's not
nice.
That's not fair.
I'm going to predict that the Rags is going to win.
Yes. The daughter's going to pick the Rags plushie.
I do stand a chance over Mauler, though. Mauler's is a little scary. I could come in.
That's true.
Well, actually, yours is a little scary, too. I might come in second place.
No, mine's adorable.
Jay.
Mine's adorable. I know what you're talking
the cute
about.
little Atom boy is going to come in second place. A boy and his dog. It's going to be... Your daughter's going to be like, what are these strange things? Ugh.
Oh no, Daddy J-Mac, our own father, is an Eris stan over Tifa. I'm not. Oh, J-Mac. I'm glad I didn't inherit that from you. In Final Fantasy VII, the two ladies fighting for the affections of Cloud are Eris and Tifa. So you have to choose which side you're on. I'm on side Tifa. He's on side Eris. He says Eris is who you are. Aerith. We're going full Weibo here. Aerith is who you bring home. Tifa is who you is who you take out on the town. I disagree. Hard disagree. Okay.
Okay.
CT says Sitch wants a girl dressed as Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat with boxing gloves. That's his ideal.
Okay, interesting.
No, not true. Cloud Strife is the real best girl. Maybe that could be true. Tifa got them big old polygons. That is There she goes. She's got the pointy bits. She's got
Big
the pointy
old
bits.
polygons. I like
Yep.
that.
She's got the big old pointy bits. That's true.
Is that it? Are we done?
That's it.
Oh, nice. Holy
That's
cow. Only 1 hour longer than we were supposed to go.
Only 40 minutes extra. I knew we weren't going to do too. When we spent the first 30 minutes talking about bullshit, I knew it was going to be.
Well, this was
I knew it was
fun.
gonna be
And we
long.
did
It
get
was fun.
this is a nice supplemental. So,
Yes.
obviously.
Oh my God. Stop paying us money, please.
Look at the Wooster diving
The
in there last
Wooster
minute.
for $50.
No, let's
Thank you
just
so
hang
much,
up. We'll get
Wooster.
it next time, Wooster.
We're going to be doing this every day. We'll just never finish the super chats. This is not a scam to make more money. Wooster for $50 says, life becomes a lot easier when you realize that all communication is gaslighting and that the purpose of speech is not to convey knowledge, but to brag, gossip, confuse, delude, charm, seduce, scare, and exploit other people, like Nadim Talib said.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that, not exactly, but that exact thought from some famous source out there.
Yeah. That is
Which,
the
I don't
purpose
know.
of language.
I mean, that is a very, I don't necessarily 100% disagree with it, but that's a very black-pilled way of looking at it.
That's a social intuitionist model. What are you talking about? That's totally it.
Ugh,
Sad but
so
true.
dark, so
Sad but
negative.
true.
I want to be optimistic, okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. It's better to be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right.
Right. Yeah, spoiler warning, Eris fucking dies, okay? So I'm not a necrophiliac. So
Eris dies?
Eris fucking diddly dies.
I'm Team Tifa. Jay, what's going on?
She gets the sword right through the back. Pa-ching! Sephiroth is like, you can't have Cloud. He's my man. And then he stabs her. That actually is what happened. That's very true.
Really? Bad news bear.
Astolfo is begging me to look at some tweet. Wait. What is this tweet that you sent me?
Here she is. Here's the harlot in question. What's her name again? I don't know. Tifa's competition.
Eris. Did you call Eris a harlot?
Yeah. What is it? Harlot in training?
Eris is like supposed to be pure. She's like Tifa is more a harlot than Eris. Okay. Well, even though I
said harlot in training.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if Tifa's a virgin, but Eris, even though she puts on the nice flower girl act, she's been banging people. She she banged Zack. Okay.
Oh, did she?
She only likes Cloud because so there's like this whole bizarre like thing. So Cloud accidentally what was that movie? The Talented Mr. Ripley. Have you ever seen that?
I do not believe I have.
Okay.
Not paid attention, but
in Final Fantasy VII, Cloud accidentally takes over someone else's life. He doesn't realize that he's kind of done this because he's lost his memories. And the person he's taken over his life is named Zack, or not taken over his life, but like kind of like he's merged their backstories together. Like he thinks that he did what Zack did. And it's weird because Eris used to be Zack's boyfriend and she kind of falls in love with Cloud, but she only falls in love with Cloud because of like this weird connection that Cloud is behaving and acting as if he was Zack. So it's a question of, does she even really like Cloud, or she only likes Cloud for seeing the aspects of her first boyfriend in him?
Wow.
There you go.
That sounds complicated.
It's complicated.
This is a video.
It's complicated.
This is a video game.
This is a video game.
These video games. It's almost like seeing a movie or something.
Final Fantasy VII is like very complicated. I mean, Tifa only likes Cloud because Cloud represents her hometown. Everyone in her hometown died, and Cloud is the only sole surviving member. And so that's the only reason she initially likes Cloud. She doesn't actually like him as a person at first. She grows to love him.
What a meanie.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because she kind of like idealizes their childhood, like, oh, we used to be such good childhood friends, but like you find out like, no, she actually kind of treated him like shit when they were kids.
Typical woman.
Yes, typical woman. J-Mac for $10 says, I had such a crush on Aerith that after all the early quote, you can bring her back forums, I tried 7 playthroughs. I even killed the Midgar Zolom first time around. Now that's impressive.
That is impressive.
I did not kill
That's
the Midgar
dedication.
Zolom the first time around, but
You missed Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is watching our show now.
What?
Ben
He's
Shapiro.
watching us talk about Final
Ben
Fantasy VII
Shapiro
girls.
for
I believe it.
$5.
I believe it.
Adam Sitch, I have something important to say. But first, shout to our sponsors. The plushies link in the description.
Adam and Sitch, I have something very important to say. This is very important about the liberal left that is taking over America. But before we get to that, first we have to shout out our sponsor, the plushie link in the description below.
We do thank you. We do thank you. Sammy's
Thank you, Ben Shapiro.
Sammy's doing all this. We're not doing really anything on the plushies except for helping her market them a bit. So and we obviously we get like a royalty. So, but yeah. So props to
Join
her.
Not Nice for $5 says, listen, I love you all and I bought the comic book and everything, but the plushie is a bit much. If you don't want the plushie, you don't have to get the plushie, okay?
Yeah, you don't have
Okay,
don't get the plushie.
Yes.
But you're missing out. Oh my God.
You are missing out. I mean, look at, they're so adorable. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, it's so once Jay's daughter is just smitten by the Adam plushie. I mean, we might know more. We might.
Wait, why'd you give me a
them.
white cat head? I'm supposed to have the black cat head, you racist.
Well, I change them up. I have several cat heads in here.
I had several cat heads at the ready for you, Sitch. Thank you. Now, see, that's the ultimate question. Tifa versus Lulu. I don't know. That's the unanswerable question. Oh my God.
Lulu who? Who's this one?
You can Google Lulu FFX.
Lulu F
space FFX, and then
no,
that's
it comes up.
Yeah, that's the ultimate question. I don't know the answer to that one.
Oh, she's on the cover too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's probably one of the ones I sent to you.
Yeah, I know. Sitch sent me a bunch. Sitch's like, here's all my favorites.
Adam was like, Sitch, I need like a bunch of anime video game waifus. I'm like, it's my time to shine.
I'm like, whoa. I need to be able to read the thread. It's like 75 JPEGs in here.
Actually, it's the opposite. Adam was like, this is all? You need way more. I need way more. Sitch.
I did. That is actually true. I did go searching. I think we made it up to 42 harlots on the cover of the S-Class cover.
There you go. Wow, don't use that word. Jeez.
Is that bad?
Harlot. God, that's what a misogynist.
What's the matter with harlot?
What do you mean what's the matter with harlot?
Harlots are cool.
Oh my God.
You don't like
Pain
harlots?
does not. Fuck Pain. Fuck Pain. You're wrong. That is wrong. I should ban you for chat for saying this is blasphemy.
What's wrong with harlots? Harlot's like a classy.
Harlot is not classy. What are you talking about?
It is.
Chat, help me out here. Please explain to Adam that the term harlot is a derisive, dismissive term for ladies of the night. It is harlot. Not classy at all. Okay.
I'm looking it up. I disagree.
Okay. Overseer's Log for $5 says, you see the Twitter post about a pic of a girl with abs, and Sargon, an academic agent, seemed to say it's a sign of civilization decline. Can ask last time. I thought I saw a picture of Sargon like memeing on it saying, you're all ab degenerates when you should be focused on like thick thighs or something. So that's the only picture I saw. I thought he was joking.
I said, why can't we have both? And everyone was like, the ultimate centrist Chad right there.
There you go. Why can't we have good abs and thick thighs? That's true.
Harlot not only says derogatory, it says dated. What?
Yeah, of course.
I'm using the boomer terminology. How do I update?
How did you think harlot was like a good thing?
Well,
who have you been calling? I've been going around calling women harlots, and they get mad. He's like, I don't understand why all these people are getting mad at me. I'm just calling them a harlot.
I said, I call the waitress harlot. Whatever.
Oh my God.
Whatever. What is the current terminology for a woman who has many casual sexual encounters or relationships?
Yeah, they're called sluts.
It's called a thought. I think it's thought.
Maybe.
Thought is the current derogatory terminology. Yeah. People are super chatting more. Come on, I gotta do some drawing here.
Aaron Villarreal for $5 says, so will Adam stream the Final Fantasy VII remake with the Sitch DVD style commentary. There's your next stretch goal, gents.
We could add that as a stretch goal, sure.
But you'd have to buy a PlayStation 27. So
people have been giving me a hard time because we haven't done a comic update, and I'm working on a comic update. So, but it's been like 4 months since we did a comic update.
Yes.
Yeah. So I need to do that. But I would much rather be working on the comic.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, Thank you all
That's
for
it?
coming.
Finally. Oh,
That's it. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for your incredibly generous donations. Let us know in the comments below if you prefer us doing super chats like this on a separate day. Should we do all super chats that are not $20 or up on a separate day, or should we only do spillover? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Thoughts in the comments below. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.